is that after making a mistake, we need to face up to it. We need to tell the truth. That is integrity, telling the truth and honoring promises no matter the consequences.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Oh, tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation. They call me a god. 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 I don't know how to stop. I just go till I drop. Whether it's working or shots, give it all that I got. You can watch me work in my element. Anyone in the way is irrelevant. Wanna cross me, cool, not intelligent. Cause I don't forget shit like an elephant. Go ahead and tempt me. Put it on the line and you'll come up empty. If I got time, I'm deadly. Never caught off guard, no, I'm always ready. I got a hand real steady. Look me in the eye and you'll see no hezzy. About to get real messy. I'll put you in a grade 6 feet like Kenny. They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
I'm called of God. Called of God. And Tim Ballard told me he'd been called of God. Some wild-eyed prophet, like.
Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I
Well, hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Stand by. Seeking justice through understanding. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, I got to take it down. I forgot. Anyways, how's it going? How's everybody doing? With my lopsided glasses, huh? I wish they didn't glare because I sure do need them. More and more these days, unfortunately. How's it going, everybody? Hey, Carrie Ann. Hey, Beach Bum. Hey, Donna. Lil Brands, TC, Denise Matthew, Trace on the case. Okay, I can breathe. Y'all, I've been working my ass off like my arms are jello right now because we have, we're stricken with the whole winter blast thing. Y'all, I was a nervous freaking wreck all night long. I don't know why. Just nervous. I was like, because they closed the bridges down, and I'm like, oh hell, if our lights go out, how are we gonna get to mom's? Then I'm like, okay, we know an old way, we know the back way, the back way, like the country way. Anyways, well, we have a tree line right here, and it's bamboo. It's our neighbor's bamboo, and it's pretty, but it falls on, and we have like this just I don't even know what to call it because I'm not a knower of all things. I can't. Oh God. Anyways, but we have this little, I guess, a power supply or power line. Anyway, so the lights were flickering last night, and I was like, "Oh my God, we're gonna die." We're not, but it's different with Jason since he's had his strokes. He just doesn't have the stamina. It really did mess with his impulse. But it's it's taken a lot of adjusting, and I don't know. That's just a whole nother thing that I got to deal with. And not him or that, but the strokes. What that did. And anyways, it's hard. But so there's a lot more that is, put on my back. It's not put on my back, but I'm just like, oh, I got it. I got it. I got this. I got that. Just so he doesn't have to exert himself. And I know it drives him nuts, but anyway, so I went out there earlier with some damn hedge trimmers because the bamboo from the ice and everything, it was there was a bunch laying on the line, and I was like, well, that's why. That's why. So I was out there just heave-hoing, and y'all know I don't go nowhere and I don't do anything. So I'm out of shape like crazy. But today or just the past hour, I got it in. But I can't really do anything with my arms right now to save my life. I'm doing good to hold on to this mouse. But I hope y'all are staying warm and safe, and just, check on your neighbors, check on your elderly, check your animals. And I don't have pets, so I feel bad for them, It sucks. We almost, our water lines almost froze last night. I think we got it just in time. We had to turn it all the way up. It's nothing like hearing your bathtub run all night. And I was just a nervous wreck. And anyways, so I'm pretty tired today and anxious. Hey, Justice Jane. Hey, Door Opinion. How are you? Hey, Zero. How's it going? I'm still going all the way up to the top. Hey, Shannon. How are you? A little bit. Lemmy said Filipino Food Club. What's up? Had a crappy day, so looking forward to catching up with everyone tonight. Well, we're glad to have you. Miss Mojo Rising 2. Okay, I'm going to go back this way. Excuse me. So what's new? Hey, Soul's Eye Jules. Good to see you. And it's been a hot minute. Keonce Cartier. Hey, Natalie, how are you doing? How are y'all doing? What the hell? Do I have some? Okay. No, it was a shadow. I was like, what the hell? Is that a new dark wrinkle? They're potholes now, huh? Hello, Carolina Hurtado. Beautiful people, Crescia K and Larry. I pray you're all well, considering John Pryor's latest court chess move. No worries, it will be checkmate for old chatty boy, right? Lotion. Oh. Melanie Avery East Hope says, got down to 50 below. Oh my God. I saw 50 and I was like, well, that ain't nothing. But holy crap. Yeah. What is this? What even is this? I don't know. It was 17 degrees when I went to Rexburg that January 2021. Whenever Rob Wood, which, I got that file right here. Labeled in the wrong folder. But anyways, it's whenever Rob Wood, Mark Means was trying to have Rob Wood removed or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the lats. Anyways, it's driving. Oh, I know. Now I know. I think. No, I don't know. Whatever. Right? Whatever. Okay. 12 degrees in Utah. Utah. I like how everybody says Utah. I say it too. Utah. It's 20. Actually, it just said 28. Now it says 30. Whatever. It's around 30 degrees here. I don't know what it feels like. Because I had my jacket on that I'll have to show you all my jacket that Janine, I'm not saying that right. Hold on. Oh my God. Blank. She tends to the fence. She's awesome. She's from Rexburg. I just went blank. Anyways, she gave us I'll show you in a minute. It's a jacket. It's windproof, and it has a picture of the kids, on it, and it's got the city logo or whatever from Rexburg. It was from the I think the mayor too. it was just really nice. I was like, oh my God, I love it. And so I put that on to go outside and just, go throw the trash. And I went and put some wood burning in the barrel, went and trimmed some damn bamboo down like Clark Griswold over there. And anyways, I was sweating my ass off because, as soon as I used to work in the plants, and whenever you get to the plants, you're like, look like you have a damn goose comforter on. That's how bulky you dress. You get out there, it was right there on the Gulf of Mexico. So it was freaking cold, windy, cold. And anyways, soon as you go to work, you clock, it's like the whistle blew or whatever, and it's time to go to work. Well, you're outside and, so you're thinking you're going to freeze your ass off. Well, as soon as you start moving, everybody starts stripping down and clothes everywhere. So that's what it's like. So I was sweating and I was like, oh my God, I got to go live. Hey, Franken doll, how are you doing? Beach bum, really weird. Something just interrupted a nightmare. Why are you trying to fix? So I'll be listening and not trying to fix anything. What? Okay, I'll have to go catch that conversation in a little while. Hey, A. Aguilar. So I really don't have anything for tonight. You heard it here first. I mean, we do have things to go over. There's Tim Ballard stuff. I was like, ooh, them's criminal, not so much civil. If we're moving into criminal territory, and it looks a little sexual, exploitation too, all kinds of things wrong. But there's oh my God, trafficking, sex trafficking. 4 states, 5 states or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, that's trafficking. Definition. Anyways, and I was pressuring myself to get Go L, the guy I follow on Substack, right? Well, and so I was trying to do pre-records with me reading all the things, and I'm not a good reader. There's just some things you're good at and some things you're just not. I'm not good at reading out loud. Don't like it. I'm too self-conscious, and it takes me forever to edit. And then I usually trash it and whatever. So I pay for Speechify, $150 a year, one whop. I only did it once. And I'm like, I'm going to get my damn use out of this app. And I know it sucks. AI is not always fun. Sometimes it's like, can you get any more robot-y or, but it even tried to, it has a thing now, which is scary. It's a double-edged sword where it records your voice. And so it has one on my app that sounds like me, kind of. I mean, I'm just like, it does sound like me. No, it don't. Yes, it does. It's really weird. But anyways, so I published a video yesterday of Gordon Bowen that included an article. In the article, it included how Tim Ballard connects with Gordon Bowen, David Hamblin, that whole whatever the hell that is over in that other Mormon therapist movement. It's the same damn movement. And anyway, so, and then Tom Harrison connects in there too. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I wanted to accentuate the part where I want people to pick up on this. I'm just like, how, it's because it's the way they release the information. It's the way the church, it really wasn't the church. It was the church, but released the statement to Vice News for, publicly kneecapping Tim Ballard publicly, distancing Tim Ballard away from M. Russell Ballard. And so they released a statement saying which it wasn't even that damn bad. I mean, whatever, morally, immorally, whatever the hell. I can't remember anything right now. I'm tired. But immorally unacceptable or something like that. And Gordon Bowen is actually the one who wrote the statement. But it was backed by the church because I haven't seen them come out and say, no, we recant that. No. So I find that very gross and risque and just all kinds of wrong with that. which means, you know how whenever they publicly excommunicated, we'll just say that, publicly excommunicated Tim Ballard. They distanced themselves. They severed that tie. They were like, whoo, you know, they got wind of something, you know, like, hey, I think, okay, these women are about to come out with all these civil lawsuits. So rip and roar. It looks like fun with Dick and Jane. Okay. Everybody's running with the ficus. I'm telling you. And anyway, so they did that. Everybody, we're all like, wait, what? What's going on? Holy crap. Finally, finally, finally. You know, for those of us who have been following Glenn Packer's work and his journalism, his reporting, and just staying on, just holding OUR and Tim Ballard and people of the like accountable. There's nothing wrong with it. Checks and balances. We all have to have, you know, if we're just allowed to just go. I mean, already in this religion, you know, you can become God, your own God, a priest, a priest, a priestess, a queen, a king, and a god and a goddess. You can, you can, you know, obtain exaltation. And there's something that's got to really screw with the psyche, as I think we've plainly seen with our own eyes. And some of us have, you know, lost some people to, you know, to these kind of these kind of ideas. They're not good. They're not healthy. They're not when a man thinks, okay, well, you know, I'm gonna get into heaven. One of them, you know, a celestial kingdom, which is the top tier of the Mormon heaven. Um, so I already got 2 tickets to paradise. That song used to play in my head all the time. And it's not my kind of music, but anyways, somewhat. But 2 tickets to paradise is what it is. Or Bruno Mars, Locked Out of Heaven. Well, here you go. here, you get to go into heaven. You're exalted in this life. I know what it says in the, you know, in the history, in the records of these ceremonies taking place, you know, in the past since the Mormon Church, you know, became the Mormon Church. And it's just it sucks. It's what it does. And it really is a power trip. Money, power, and sex. And I mean, that's what this is. But again, yes, it applies to Chad and Lori, but it also applies to every one of us. Money, power, sex, pride, power. That's what we see all the time, is everybody just trying to control everything, right? Control freaks, much. And so we have all these, you know, I'm not a professional, or I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but I mean, you have the Loris, and you have the Melanie Gibbs, and you have the David Warwicks, and the Melanie Pulowskis, all these people. You have all these self-righteous people, you know, who've already been exalted somewhat, and they can't handle a lick of criticism, constructive criticism. They're like, no, we're going to go and hide in a cavity of a rock. And then, you know, Melanie, you know, saying stuff like, can you come out and play again? What the hell? Tom Harrison, even. I heard that ever since the Mormon Stories podcast with Lauren and Megan and Mindy and John, you know, about Visions of Glory, right there. Got it right there. Look, I got Jody's book too. This is going to be my, I don't even, shame shelf. Let's break it. All right. With all the bad books. Anyways, it sucks. It sucks. Yeah. In the church. Oh, yes. So I was like, oh my God, it checks out. You think of Gordon Bowen, you know, he was chum with Boyd Packer, which is Len Packer's uncle. I'm just like, okay. I'm just trying to figure out the associations, and it's intriguing. Okay. I'm just like, oh my God. That's where my mind fills things in. I'm like, oh wait, I just kind of tie things in together like that. But yes, the church did hire a new, very liberal, LGBTQ open, supportive, outspoken ally, supporting communications director, which would be the same position that the media, whomever would, that everybody assumed, I think it was Anderson, somebody Anderson. I can't, Gary Anderson or something. I don't know. Don't listen to me. But I mean, so everybody, there's these stories or rumblings or whatever where people are like, well, I heard it was a rogue, what if it was like a rogue somebody in the church media department or whatever. And we're all like, what? Okay. Okay. Whatever you got to do. But I mean, I'm just like, well, I don't really trust it either. It's just kind of weird. It's just off the beaten path. Then it got me thinking. Let me finish your what you wrote. Trying to distract from the Vice Ballard church connection stuff. Members upset. Oh, I'm sure there's a rest. Blah, blah, blah. It wasn't rogue. According to, and it's Goel is what he goes by. That's his channel name. If it was a channel, which he does have YouTube channel. So please go find him. Investigations and ritual abuse. Investigations and ritual abuse. And let's go support him. He's doing really hard work. It's hard. That's looking at all those child SA. I mean, there's murder. There's all the bad words that I can't say on here, or I'll get shadow banned more, even more. It could be because of Jody Hildebrand. It's always a smoke and mirror, and I hate to say that expression. I'm not very good with my vocabulary today. But it seems like it is to distract because everybody just kind of hones in on it, and you got to look at the whole puppy, the whole thing as if it's just one big moving amoeba. I don't know what else to call it, or coral reef, whatever is one movement for you. I look at it like one big Mormon church movement. And then it even goes beyond that with the way my mind works. I'm like, oh, global. Okay. I'm like, oh, okay. I can see where okay. I know I sound crazy, but yes, I've been right. Okay. I want to go so many different directions right now. I do. Crusha, how much you want to bet that's because of Jody Hildebrand? It's gonna come out. She's closeted. Well, I mean, she's good then, right? She don't have to worry about nothing. She's in heaven, I'd say. In girl prison? What? She's gonna she probably already has a following. She's probably already got a cult. She's a cult leader. Straight up. So, I mean, is this producing a bunch of cult leaders? Or is this a bunch of followers who have somebody way up high in high positions who they revere and respect and listen to, and or they have shit on each other? I don't really know. I'm still here trying to figure it out. I told Jason last night, because I've been trying to put notes together, but there's I have so many notes. I'm like, I do journal. I just journal everywhere is what I do. I mean, I've got notes, and this is just, what I could grab right here. I mean, there's a box right there. I'm like, here's my book. Here's my book. I told him, I said, I should just publish all my notes and be like, here, let's all figure it out together. Here, you organized people. Let's do this together. Because this sucks. This sucks. And I'm so interested, and there's so many things, especially now because it's been so, we're almost 5 years into this now. And so, I mean, everything's like, ooh, 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 ooh. And it's hard. And I'm like, okay, finish this thing first. But this ties into everything. All these Mormons that are wigging out. This movement, I don't know I don't know. They're not directly associated. Like it's not like whenever they're here. Point in case is Lori and Chad. And we have Melanie Gibb, we have David Warwick, we have Zalima and Melanie Pulaski, Ian Pulaski. And then, then you have to start working your way out like that. And your mind gets mine continuously is blowing. Okay. It's crazy. But so is the rest of the story. It doesn't make sense for it to just, I mean, as crazy as this was, it was so off the rails. Lori, her confidence, that she walked in that Idaho courtroom in front of my parents, in front of her son, in front of her daughter-in-law, even though she didn't think highly of her, right? Jesus loves you, but he loves me more kind of thing, right? In front of your stepsons who you texted them and told them their dad was dead. In front of the world, in front of Chad, in front of people. And she walked in so confident. And that's when I was like, I don't know who the hell that is. What is that? Who is that? Because I don't know who the hell that is. I mean, just total stranger at that point. And so that's when I began just going through this like soul search or whatever you want to call it, deep dive. I don't know. And I'm telling you, I've been looking in every corner, every dark corner, every dusty dark corner. And then you're like, okay, yeah, no, that's not it over there. What are y'all doing over here? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's kind of it, but that's not all it. And that's me and my philosophical ass, right? Well, it eats up a lot of your life. Okay. Hey, detective's daughter. You're in timeout then, detective's daughter. You're not late. Why doesn't Chad want to go ahead with the case? He does, I think. I think so. Because hymns don't want to die. Okay. He can he can, deem when people go dark. But it makes me want to, this is where I struggle. And I know I piss a lot of people off because of how I'm just like, but that's not it. I'm not settling. I refuse to settle when it doesn't fit, when it does not fit. I want to go back through like the testimony of the all the times that we heard the light, the dark, that kind of stuff, because I really think it comes from whole visions of glory, dude, and maybe higher. Maybe. I don't know. Again, it's not a witch hunt. I'm not like, hey, where's your broom? No. I mean, I'm just saying, it doesn't stop at just Chad and Lori. It didn't, obviously. And I mean, then here comes Tim Ballard with all his weird shit. And I was like, there you go. There's somebody higher up who went to the same damn things that Lori and Chad went to. Him and Glenn Beck, him and David Barton, Rod Meldrum, Ken Krogh, Jody Hildebrandt, not Connection, Eternal Core. It just seems, and then you have Gordon Bowen, who's doing, I mean, according to the Hamblin daughters, David Hamblin, who's another Mormon therapist. What's going on? His daughters in their victim statements that they have been trying to get their parents be held accountable. There's updates on that too. I mean, there's so many things that we can go over right now. I actually was watching before I came on. I don't know what they call it though. It's hard to keep all these things in your head and then recite them. It's hard. Well, the news with the Mormon news with Bill Real, Radio Free Mormon. Oh, thank you, Beach Baham. You're so sweet. You are always so sweet. Much appreciated, girl. I hope you're keeping warm. Thank you. Rebecca Biblioteca and John Deland, Radio Free Mormon, and Bill Real, their news thing. And RFM was just going on. I didn't get to watch the real rest of, before that because I was running around. And anyways, but he brought up his news story or whatever was Chad Daybell's lawyer. So I might go ahead and pull that up. And then we're gonna, scheduled for Thursday. We're gonna stream that here, the hearing for y'all. I don't know. I watched Scott Reich and he was like, Judge Boyce is pissed. And I was like, he probably is, but it'll probably be in a passive aggressive kind of way. That's what I'm thinking. But anyways, I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing John Pryor get his ass chewed a great deal. I would get a little satisfaction out of it. What it's going to be, whatever it's going to be. There's nothing I can say, I'm pissed and this is bullshit. And I mean, it is. But it doesn't change anything. If it was by wishful thinking and positive thinking and, us just wanting all the people in this world who know of this case, who these people, these victims have touched your life in some way, shape, or form. Oh my God, Detective's daughter. Girl. Oh, the air must be thin up there. Thank you. Thank you. That is so sweet. Okay. I appreciate you so much, you and Robert and Weenus. So very much. Anyways. Girl. Anyways. All right. I gotta stop. But, okay. I already forgot. Yeah, that threw me. So what was I about to say? Well, Robinette. Okay, since I don't remember what I was going to say. This is what Robinette had given me to go to Boise. And it's 100 amazing corny jokes. Ha ha ha. So we're gonna pull a card. Pick a card, any card you choose. It's just gonna be corny, short and corny. Okay. Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? A balloon. Why did it have to be this one? Frozen, right? Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Because she will let it go. Who did Frankenstein's monster bring to a party? His ghoul friend, right? Have you heard the story of the skunk? Never mind, it stinks. One more. What do you call a snake wearing a hard hat? A boa constrictor. Anyways. Okay, one more. In honor of Tammy. Why don't ducks ever have spare change? They only carry bills. All right. Wah, wah, wah. Right? Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I forget what I was going to do. It throws me off. And I mean, it's okay. It's fine. Thank you so very much. It's so appreciated. My attention span just really is bad today. So, yeah, I mean, here we are, 30 minutes into it, and we haven't really talked about anything. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, this is what I want to do. I just need to put this out there. I have not ever seen, and I want to because it exists. Yes, it does. That's it. There's so many things that I find, whenever I'm in between live streams or whatever, in between, seeing you guys next, I run across things and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go. And I'm like, okay, it's all planned out in my head. And then, I do work and everything in my Canva app. And I have so many things put together. That's probably where my book is. Right there in Canva. But it's just not in my mind. It's just so massive and traumatizing, right? And I research into so many different topics all the time. Today I was looking in psychology at, CPTSD and what it does to you and hyper-religiosity, and just kind of had a little more time to spend on that. And that's where I orbited to today. But, and I mean, I like to take physical notes. It's just who I am. And so this might, I don't know. I mean, maybe somebody has it together already. I haven't seen it for myself, and I want that. But, it's kind of, I have like notes and timeline, kind of, in this notebook. There's probably another one over there and 50 over there. But July 2017, it was July 15th, 2017, Preparing a People, first conference in Rexburg, Idaho. Speakers were David Warwick, Chad Daybell, and Julie Rowe. That's the first Preparing a People. You got to think before that, there was David Warwick was on the same circuit as Avraham Gigliotti and Tom Harrison. Okay. You with me? Let me see what's on the page before this. I need to scan these in, but I'm gonna have to buy some more I'm almost at 2 terabytes, and it's like, hey, you need some more storage. And I'm like, good God. Anyways. Okay. All right. So we have July 15, 2017, and it was Rexburg, Idaho, right? David Warwick, Chad Daybell, Julie Rowe. August 2017, Chad meets author / podcaster / she just became an author and a podcaster, allegedly. Melanie Gibb for the first time after he spoke at a Zion campout in northern Utah. Melanie Gibb invites him to speak in her hometown, Mesa, Arizona. FYI, Chad writes forward in MG's book, Melanie Gibb's book. September 9th, 2017, there's a Preparing a People first conference in Orem, Utah. Speakers are Sean Little Bear, Chad, Dan Judd, Stroud. No, I don't know. I'm just going to read what I have. November 17th. Yeah, I had the wrong damn dates. Because I put, or was this 2018? Anyways, November 17th and 18th, or 16th, 17th, and I thought it was 18th too. I thought it was a Friday, Saturday, and a Sunday. And it could have been, whatever. This is the weekend that, so see, I didn't even put on here whenever Chad and Lori met in October 26th in St. George. So just know that. November 17th, 18th, 2018, Chad Daybell spoke at conference. Okay, no, this is 2017. And I have this actual, see, this is, I get spun. I'm not good at timelines. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, November 17th, 18th, 2017, Chad Daybell spoke at conference at Westwood High School in Mesa, Arizona. Friday night was at Private Ranch with speakers Mal Meldrum, Catherine Spencer, Sean Little Bear, Dean Sessions, Thor Furuseth, John Miller, Mike and Nancy James, and Pamela Mitt Romney, sister maybe. And her last name is Openshaw. Okay. Well, actually, I have this, what do you call it? Fireside. I have that Fireside on my channel uploaded. Interesting. I've listened to it very, very closely. And then I have March 9th through 10th, 2018. Chad, Jason Mal, speakers at the Rexburg Historic Tabernacle for Preparing a People conference. June 2018, Chad finishes writing his Times of Turmoil book series, and he felt prompted to speak about his new series in Mesa, Arizona, July 2018. He arranges a joint speaking event with with Chad and Jason Mao. What? I don't know why I put that. Anyways, these are sucky notes. Sorry. Anyways, that came from Chad's blog. July 13th, 2018. Chad and Jason Mao have a book signing at a Preparing a People at Burke Basic Charter School. Melanie Gibbs says on Facebook in a comment, I will that she'll be there, and her username or whatever was standing outside of the box. And then this is where I get thrown off because then everything starts flooding in. It's such a riddle. Okay. November 20. Okay, so I did put it right here. October 26, 2018, St. George. That's when they met physically. We'll just say physically. That'll make sense in a minute. November 2018. This is just what I put. So it may or may not be. I don't know. We weren't there. I wasn't. I put second anointing / endowment, maybe. And there is testimony from a female FBI agent on, I forget. Okay. Anyways, and she testified, she told us about temple visits that were relevant, where they were there together, where they showed up together and with other people. But these were relevant. And she said November 16th, which was a Friday, 2018. Okay. And so then you got to go and look at and listen to Melanie Gibb try and dance around not putting Chad and Lori in the temple ceiling room. Okay. She's like, that's like saying that M. Russell Ballard and Tim Ballard, they're not related. Anyways. All right. So anyways, November 2018, second anointing. I just put second anointing endowment, Preparing a People Mesa event. Chad and Lori visit I was like, I'm thinking to myself, Gilbert or Mesa Temple, because there was one that was like under construction for a couple of years. Anyways, on November 16th, 2018, according to trial testimony, November 16, 2018 was on a Friday. November 17th, Saturday. November 18th was on a Sunday. Second anointing day. But the temple is closed on Sundays. Okay. But that's whenever people like Tom Phillips and Hans and Brigitte Matzen, who have told about their second anointing experiences. It's a kind of like a fight club. The first rule of the fight club is you don't talk about the fight club. So they can't, it's a secret within the church. Like there's so many members of the Mormon church who, they will be in these comments probably, just wait. And they will battle you. They'll be like, what? That was a long time ago, and it's been a very confusing process. I'm confused all the time. But when you keep so many secrets and everything hidden, and especially from your own members, if you think about it, like just not being Mormon ever, not being knowledgeable about the religion, period. I told y'all I saw the commercial Compassion, Pass It Along, a long time ago when I would watch cartoons on Saturdays when I was a kid. And, they said, Compassion, pass it along. That's all I knew about Mormons. I didn't know Lori and Charles were. I didn't know. It never came up. But so here you have what I understand is when I hear church or when I think of church, I'm like, okay, so they all go to church. Okay. So you see people that, I learned that they have these wards. Pretty much it would equate to what we call parishes. That's what I'm thinking. A ward is kind of like a parish for Catholics. I don't know. And then you start thinking about, then you're like, well, temple, what do you mean go to temple? What's a temple recommend? You start learning about all these new concepts that you have never in your life heard of ever before. And then there's so many different accounts from so many different people. And then you're not, you know, in the general public, you're not allowed to step foot into a temple if you are not a temple recommend holder, you know. You legit have your Jesus card. Just kidding. This is the one that was found on my living room floor, you know, with my name on it. Hey guys, missionaries. I was like, oh shit. How'd y'all get in my house? Working on that. Thank God. And anyways, but yeah, so temple recommend. And you go back and you start, you know, or actually at that time, you know, so I'm processing all these things, learning all these new things about this new or different religion, you know, that I've just whatever, you know. It's just been a battle every step of the damn way because just you have resistance right off jump. So many members of the church never comes out and says anything. They never recognize, acknowledge, pay respects to. They never reach out and say shit about their own members of their own church. Whatever. And I didn't understand that. I was like, okay. So, but this whole town of Rexburg, all these wonderful, there's such good people. Okay. And, you know, they rally around. They came and have been there, you know, and you form this bond with them, and they've gone through something so tragic. You've gone through something so tragic. You're going through it together. Their church does not even address them. They don't come, you know, they had a higher up or whatever. Uchtdorf, listened to Heather Daybell's interviews. And she was just like, oh God, thank you. You know, they're going to address this finally, because she had been sounding the bell on her brother-in-law, Chad Daybell, for a while. But because I'm going to say because she is a woman, she held callings in her church. And from her interview, I learned that Lori was, I mean, oh, you start learning about, you know, how often is normal to go to the temple. What's super religious? What's hyper religiosity? What is extremism? When does it become extreme? And you have to ask all these questions. You have to answer all these questions truthfully. And that's the difference. Not just deny, because what the hell does that do? Besides nothing except delay people like me from learning the truth on my own. You know, I just depended on my own self. I listened to everybody and I just kind of coil through it, whatever. And you have so many people in these early chat rooms, you know, with Tylee and JJ missing. And, you know, you hear about the 140, all that weird doctrine shit came out with Ian and I was like, zombies? What the hell? Oh my God. Y'all, I mean, I'm telling you, I would go to sleep. I would wake up and whatever. It wouldn't even be the morning because I just slept whenever. I mean, just so traumatizing. Really. The kids were still missing and just everything. I don't remember that year. Anyways. But I remember waking up and I would just like open my eyes and I would look, you know, you just wake up and I'd be like, zombies? You know, you'd think to yourself or whatever. I think that, and I'd be like, zombies? Yeah, that really did happen. And I'd be like, yep, that was not a dream. Or, you know, is this real? Is this even real? What the hell is this? Why are we talking about fucking zombies? It just has been bizarre every step of the way. Anyways, so I mean, you're just a steady flow of information, searching, seeking, blur. Plus, you're just trying to autopilot through life because you're just, yeah, you know, you're traumatized, and everything is crazy and just painful. And my way of doing it was, or trying to do it, I thought this was how I could prevent or lessen the blows of somebody hitting me with, you know, any kind of movement in the case, and then so many people know before you, and you try not, you're getting just gut punched. It's like a speed bag, but that's your gut, that's your heart, and that's your soul. And you're just trying to stay ahead of, I tried to stay ahead of, I still do. It's my way of just trying to control it, you know? I just want to get in front of it, and I want to find out for myself from the proper source, and not just boom, sideswipe with some more information that's like, what? How do you wrap your head around this new stuff, And then you're clicking all these things together from what you learned last 2 days ago with the last bit of info that came out in the case. It's just a never ending. I mean, it beats your ass is what it does. And I mean, I know I'm cussing, but we're all adults here. And this is really this is adult stuff. And it involves kids, and it's kid stuff. But it's reality is what it is. And what good does it do me to sugarcoat? What good does it do you? And what good does it do their truths, their realities? Why their lives were taken? How does it bring meaning and give? I'm sorry, I was able to breathe. It felt good to breathe. How does it do them justice through understanding? How does it do them justice to just be like, okay, I settle here, Okay. Because Pete and John over there said, that's it. Okay. Yeah. Chad's a cult leader. That's it. That's not it. I wish, because I mean, I could already be on the mend now. I could be on the up and up, and I could just, greet you people every week with my mind and my heart and my brain put together. It'll just, everything could work together, because I could start on, I wouldn't be trying to figure out this trivial freaking puzzle, because it's a promise I made. I put my foot in my mouth, but I don't regret it. I don't. But, I just don't want to let them down. I gave them my word, and I want to be a woman of my word. There's so many times in my life when I was not a woman of my word. And anyways, so that's what I do. And I don't feel bad for it. But it is not, I mean, it's kind of like it's like a lock, I mean, you just kind of don't go anywhere. I feel like one of my feet is screwed to the floor, and I just go round and round and round. I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm like, oh yeah. And I just grab stuff from everywhere, and I'm like, that goes with this, that goes with that. And I mean, I could talk it out. I could, if I had somebody that could just ask me the right questions. And I know that sounds kind of like I'm not being whatever. I'm not exalting myself. I just need to be kind of led, because it is massive. And it's a lot to wrap one's head around. It is. But I would need at least a good 48 days straight of just talking. Haha. Anyways, there's so many things that go into this, but every little noodle, every little stitch, every orbit, it connects something. And so it's just like I'm, going around in my orbit, but I'm connecting. I'm crocheting something, and one day I'll be able to look up and see. I'll be able to see it. And I mean, I can see it in my mind. I want to show it. I want to share it. And my words get in the way. I stutter. I fumble for words. It's very taxing. And not just on me, on you too. I mean, it's just like, come on. And I mean, we all live busy lives. And anyways, we can go down so many different holes with that, but of all the things of why and why not and how not. And I just want to do it and I want it out and just, I want somebody to say, oh, okay. I get it. It's like, I'll connect with somebody, and they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, yes, that. And then it's just like, oh, no. Where did I lose you? No. And anyways, it's so lonely on this journey. It's very lonely in the sense that I spend most of my time just trying to figure it out. And I mean, I know it's never, ever, ever going to be 100%. It's never going to all fit into place. We were not there. You were not there. We were not there. I'm glad. I don't want to know everything, but I don't even know. I don't even know what the point is. I don't know where the top is. I don't know where it goes. I don't know. And it's intimidating also. But I mean, so I really don't even know. But I mean, again, look, I look right there and then it reminds me of all the bad Mormons. Okay. You've got Benjamin LeBaron, the Strack family murders, Lloyd Barris, Corey and Eric Richins, Thomas Creech, Mormon Meadows Massacre, Tim Ballard, Operation Underground Railroad. This was way before all this shit came out. The Lafferty brothers, Enoch family murders, David Levitt. You've got Desnat. That's kind of getting wild, right? School of Prophets, Ted Bundy, Brian David Mitchell, Paul Adams, LDS Helpline, McConkey Law Firm, Ensign Peak Advisors, 13 Shell Companies, Mormon Dentist, Mormon Therapist, Brigham Young, Offshoots, Chris Nemelka, Jeff Lundgren, Chad Laurie, Jody Ruby. It never. You got the latest second comers. I've been trying to think of things to name a book, and I'm just like, the next second coming, the last second coming. I mean, because there's always going to be a second coming and somebody falling for it and somebody duping somebody else about it. It's like, where does this end? But you find a lot of the same ideas in every one of these cases. It's bizarre. It's worth it though. I just want to be a woman of my word. I want to, I was like, I made a promise to them, Charles, Tylee, and JJ, that I would not stop. I don't know what this means either, but I would not stop until everyone with my family's blood, with their blood on their hands, anybody with my family's blood on their hands is held accountable. Then I'm like, okay, well, that's not realistic. Okay. You get, and you're like, well, that's not even a realistic, that's not realistic. And so I'll just do my best to connect the pieces with all of you beautiful people. Y'all are so freaking smart. We all hold a piece of this. That's the crazy part. If we could all just sit in a freaking room and we could just, and not talk 90 to nothing. Usually when I'm, meet with somebody backstage or just whatever, we end up like, blah, 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 and we never get around to doing what we actually set out to do. Anyways, it's nuts because we're excited to talk about it with other people who, know as much about the cases or case as you do. And so it's just like, okay, well, yeah. Oh, and you just kind of feed off each other. Anyways, so I don't know. There's so many different ways I could go and we could go. Okay. I just turned the comments back. I had them shut off. You do far better than you've come a long way. I couldn't do what you do. I still write crap out. I do too. And I've got a whiteboard feature, in my Canva app, but my Canva app, He's pretty bitchy. He must have a. I say it's a he. My Chat GPT and Canva is probably listening to me right now. But anyways, I'll probably be in timeout. Y'all, it's the craziest thing. Straight up was just like, girl, you need to move on. Why you need Chad Daybell's address is basically what it said. Oh, rejection all over again. I'm like, good God. Because I'm freaking looking. That's why I pay. I pay for this service, you know? Anyways. What, baby? You okay? You good? Oh, okay.
I just took a little trip. It was okay. I'll make it back.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know where they're at. I don't know where the cigarette. Well, yeah, I do. I do.
Took it around and made it back up.
Well, good. Hey,
Love you.
here. You need a cigarette?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I thought that's what you needed. I love you too.
I was just letting you know it's okay.
Okay. Oh, I love you. I didn't know. I didn't
Well,
know.
good. I'm glad it wasn't that loud.
No, it wasn't. It's just normal. I don't know. All held accountable is very realistic. It is the only way. I mean, to the best of my ability. I don't know, I can't hold them to, they got to answer to God. That's how I look at it. That's my belief system. But I don't know. Exposure is the best. Sunlight is the best disinfectant. And I mean, it's been bursting. It's been just, and it still is. It's like everybody's freaking nutting up. And I mean, I'm just hyper focused on this, on the, this whole case. Chad, Lori, their affiliations, their associations, where they lived, where they went to church, where they went to, who they hung out with, who they crossed paths with, right? And you just try to kind of just fill in those blanks, with, and I mean, trying to be as fair as possible, and I mean, sometimes I didn't want to turn cynical. I was like, oh my God, I didn't really even know what cynical meant. Now I do. I know what it means. But I mean, I still have love, compassion, empathy. I'm no better than anybody else. I will, if my mom always used to say this, if, I'll dig ditches right next to you. I'm not going to sit there and point fingers. No, I'll be right there with you, shoveling shit with you. It's just the way it is. Oh, I hope so. The real Bebo show. I didn't. They did. It's all them. It's them. Their blood was spilled for this, I'm just doing my job. I think what anybody would do. That's what you do for your loved ones. I did not realize I did not realize I even loved my family. And I know this sounds like just weird. It just sounds weird, but I just was always a loner. I'm a loner, and I never really thought of it that way. I didn't think I was a loner, but it turns out I really am. And I don't know. I didn't realize how much or how important my family was to me until the tragedies happened. And then it's just like, I became like, oh, I don't think so. I mean, it just pulls something out of you and you're just like, I didn't even know this existed in myself, right? But I do now, yeah. Pay far. Yeah, it's you don't want nobody to I never wanted to experience this. I never wanted them to experience this. I'm just secondary, I'm here still. I have air in my lungs and I've got right now. And they don't. And you just never know when tragedy, whether it's through something as horrific and just traumatizing and just egregious, all those words, and it happens to your family. And then something just, I don't know, it just came out of me instant. I told you, it shook me to my core. Literal, like I was just shook. I was pissed. I was pissed. And I mean, I've been mad so many times before. Oh yeah, I've been mad. I've had my times, oh my God. But I'm mad. Like my soul is just like, oh hell no. And I never wanted to be on here. I still don't. I mean, it's just not a very comfortable thing for me to do, right? People just, they don't give you, they might just come in and, I mean, we all have that right, but some people, come here for the wrong reasons and whatever. I really try not to entertain things like that. And I don't have a problem with that. Really. We have a good community here. I'm being serious. Everybody is just, I mean, I'm a 45-year-old freaking woman. I'm old enough to have grandbabies now. My kids were young, in mid-teens, and my son had just came back into my life after being estranged from him for 6 years. That's traumatizing on itself. Got a lot of healing to do. We all do, though. How much grace do we, give to ourselves? How much do we really love ourselves? Because it's like, you really can't love anybody else or really receive love, until you come to, like, I don't know, it's a steady process, but till you come to love yourself and respect yourself and your boundaries and your own need for your own headspace, your alone time, where you can just kind of reflect and not meditate. I don't meditate or anything, but just really think about what's important to you. What drives you? What do you want to make better? What do you want to stop doing because you're being bitchy maybe or something? I bitch. And it's not really bitching. It's just like hypercritical. Anyway, so we all have good traits. We have bad traits. We have things that we wish we were better at, that we, I don't know. We can always we're not exalted gods. So drop that shit. Don't come here. Don't even come here. You won't like it here. But I mean, nobody's better than anybody else. The Pope, the President of the United States, whomever it is, nobody. Everybody shits. Okay? Everybody poo-poos. Okay? Everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time, unless you're just really, unique. And nobody gets out of this alive. Honestly, it took me them to be murdered for me to get on an airplane. Okay, I didn't give a shit. I was just like, I don't care. I gotta go be in Rexburg. I gotta go walk where they walked. I gotta go see where they were. I gotta go make peace with it, And because I was so torn during that time, I was grateful because I was grateful for COVID, y'all. And that's effed up. That's so effed up to say. I was grateful for COVID. Social distancing, everything shut off. I was able to, hey, I'm just being real. I drew unemployment. Okay. I was like, all right, let's do this. And I worked on this case and I've not stopped ever since. And I connected through my TV, YouTube, Roku app, whatever. I didn't know this world existed. I was like, what the hell? Who are all these people? Wow. It gives you drive and hope and support. It gives you support. And I just think that every family that finds themselves in this horrible, on this side of the road or this side of the line, it just, everybody should have a community like y'all, because I don't know how anybody does it without this. I don't know how they did it before the internet. Okay. I don't know how they did it And then how it's like, then you start thinking, well, what not to do, what to do. There's notes I run across and I'm like, yeah, I'm talking about exploitation because I'm protective also. I'm just protective. And but I can't control that, and that's something I got to come to terms with myself. I love sharing them with y'all. I don't like seeing not being exploited. I don't like seeing any victim being exploited. And then, I have to do that with myself, like what I share. What do I do? Oh my God, look, my own kids. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's not post their pictures all over the internet. Oh my God. I've learned so many things through this, and I it's never, I don't ever want learning to end. I like learning. I love learning. Turns out. Just not good at retaining. Not good at, translating that. Oh, thank you, Kristen. Well, hey, Miss Mojo Rising. You're not late. Girl, you here. We just got here. I'm just kidding. Yeah, John Pryor. How many of you guys think that it's a tactic? Even though it is what it is, but Chad has known for a year now. Like this month, it was a year since his ass was indigent and broke. He's broke. She gives me money. And that's, and you think, just think about how this transpired. And, you just kind of reflect on the past there of Chad and Lori Daybell. And it was like almost a year of an affair, I guess you can say, whatever the hell that looks like to them. It's weird. And but they were so self-righteous, right? And then, I do know, and I don't want to say this, like, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. That's not my goal here. It's just, I know that there were, I'll just say allegedly, because I really don't know. It's not firsthand knowledge, but before Lori's trial, there was talk of plea deals, and the word on the streets, on the YouTube streets, right, was that Lori was more apt, like she was more on board with taking a plea deal. Chad flat out was like, no. And that's after the death penalty. He's got the death penalty coming at him. So, he don't want to die because he's a freaking narcissistic asshole. I didn't say that. That was my twin. Anyways. And so, he doesn't want to die. He's okay with his other wife, his friend wife. I don't know. Anyways. He's okay with her going, ladies first. That's the only time I've seen Chad be chivalrous. He's just like trying to throw her under the bus ever since his preliminary hearing, day one. John Pryor's like, Ms. Vallow. And I'm like, oh, hell no. She's Daybell now. You take her, right? We're all just like playing keep away, right? Hot potato. There you go. Hot pocket. You have her. No, you take her. Anyways, and you think about all the things that they did, that you find out along the journey, and you're like, okay, so the day Chad's house was getting raided, I believe so. I don't believe, and I got to go check this, but it was one of the times. It wasn't, I don't think it was January of 2000. Remember when there was snow on the ground? Miss Mojo. It was planned. You think so, SD Hester? Pryor knew this for the entire time. So did Chad. And so did, obviously, the court. Again, I'm not a legal expert. I'm just here learning just like you. But anyway, but we find out that, like, didn't Chad give, I don't know the exact amount, but lump sums of cash to each, like 3 of his kids, like 8,000, 6,000. I don't know. It was like 20 something thousand. Somebody probably knows and probably gonna put it in the chat. And I appreciate you if you do. Understand if you don't. But and so he's got a lot going on. That old chatty boy, right? And so, okay, and then you got to think in March of 2020, Lori was already arrested January. Okay. The end of January in Hawaii. She loves saying Hawaii. And they're just by the pool, living their best lives, you know? She's just sunbathing with her cute little bikini on, with her no cellulite and shit. And I'm just like, bitch, right. And this book is under her murdering ass leg. Okay. And I mean, look, like it took a lot for me to get this book even like this, you know? I mean, for it to even do that, it's got buoyancy, you know? Well, anyways, and so it looked like she read the hell out of that book. So I'm like, okay, it looks like it's about that thick. I try to see where she's at in the book. Where is she reading? You know, like where's she at in the damn book? You know, she done read it 50,000 times. So, anyways, I'm just saying. And you know, Chad's think about right after, you know, or right before Tammy dies, Chad and Lori's text, we find out he wants to do, you know, this is the plan. It's not to build a freaking invisible church in Rexburg, Idaho, and be a cult leader in the same town of 20,000, 28,000 people with BYU Idaho right there. You're not going to be like, okay, we're going to go competition. You know, I'm going to be a corporate church too. That don't make no damn sense. Does it? I mean, really just think about this. Critical thinking. And you're just like, it reminds me of Ruby Frankie and Jody Hildebrandt. And I mean, I understand. Everybody has their own, we're all different levels, different devils, you know, so to speak. And we all have different points of views, and nobody's right, nobody's wrong. I don't know. It's interesting to talk about it. And we always learn. Well, when I heard even from like Adam Steed, you know, that Jody Hildebrandt wanted Ruby Frankie's following, and I was like, okay. And then, you know, things start to set in, you know, you're like, wait, hold on. But didn't she shut down her YouTube channel? You know? I mean, why did she shut down her YouTube channel? Why did Ruby Frankie shut down her YouTube channel? Or, you know, and then what's the end game? That's where I'm like, what is their end game though? Like, what is the point of this? I'll tell you what I think right now, point blank. I think it's got to be more of a concerted effort. And there's your globalist. I don't know what else to call them. I don't do labels. I'm not a damn conspiracy theorist. I'm just like, there's this, there's that. This is what that is. I don't know. And all these like I saw a story, I don't really keep up with it, but you know, Ashton Kutcher and then Danny Masterson, all these like elites, you know, and you're just like, Robert Redford isn't, you know, Van Wagenens. You got the, you know, Gordon Bowen Association that's buds with the apostle of the fucking church. Okay. Who happens to go to Second Anointings, him and another apostle they became zombies. There were 2 zombies named in the infamous Reddit email. Remember? Ballard and Renlund are zombies. I shit you not. Why did they become zombies? Who wrote that email? It was Melanie Gibb. Want to know how I know? Because I got it with Nate Eaton's name on it, with East Idaho News on it, because he sent it to my mom. I took pictures of it because mom was like, here. And it was like 5 pages of, I was like, what? So I took pictures of the papers, you know, because I'd have to like mow that over a couple times. Oh, that's beautiful, Amisa. Girl. Oh, that caught my eye. Oh. Girl, you might be onto something. Yeah. I'm all open for ideas. All open. They're welcome. Your ideas are welcome. Anyways, but so it's just these it's like power plays. It's just these people who are too big for their britches, so to speak, and they don't have it's like they do not have the wherewithal or ability to have empathy. That's how I see Tim Ballard. That's how I see Sean Reyes, Jody Hildebrandt, Ruby Frankie, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, David Warwick, Tom Harrison. Just all these people. Just think about this. Like Ken Krogh. I mean, they talk it. They talk it. Not one of them know how to actually walk it. They do not know what grace looks like. They do not know what forgiveness is. They don't even know what self-love is. They do not know because they don't have that ability. And they're preying on us and our children. And that's our children. That's our obligation, right? I don't care what I sound like. I don't want this to happen again. And it will, and it has. And it's terrible. It's terrible. And you don't want another statistic. So be it. If that makes me a fucking crazy ass, then here I am. Hello. Nice to meet you. You know, I mean, just whatever. Nobody's better than anybody. We're not getting out of this alive, so we might as well learn how to work together. Okay? Because we're not getting anything done by being assholes to each other. All right. Right. And yes, you can be an asshole. Say it to yourself. You know you can. Anyways, and I don't mean that. Please don't nobody take that the wrong way. I'm just kind of joking. Just be real with yourself, okay? Anyways, so, okay, what was I going to do? I can read y'all I can actually pull that up right now. That, I actually have it right here. Because it's a little different than the other infamous Reddit emails. They are, anyways, I know exactly I know where they came from. It's not just Anna Brown. Or Anna. I don't know if it's Anna or Anna. I found Anna LeBaron's phone number the other day. I was like, oh, I forgot. I watched that whole, Netflix thing, the daughter of the cult. I have her book too, back there somewhere. Okay, let me find my images, and I'll pull that email up that Nate Eaton gave to my mom and Larry before. This was before the kids were found. And I was like, what in the hell? Okay, let me share my screen. Sharing. Yeah, I'm going to share this first. There you go. I just wanted to share that with you. Okay, let me move this over. Hopefully I'm hiding behind. Okay, I'm not. That's good though. All right. Okay, so yeah, somebody had done this. I think Eric had given me this picture, and I was like, I mean, you just have to laugh because it's so hard and egregious and gross and uncomfortable, and it's painful, and you just have to. It does me good to, just to laugh when I can, and I like to laugh a lot. Okay, just like Shart Face here, the Tim Shart chart, right? I mean, he posted the damn thing. Look, it says Tim Ballard 89. He posted this picture of himself. And it was posted in Reddit. And it says Tim Ballard 89. Just a few days after I delivered this speech, a flood of false allegations. See, persecution complex. He is a narcissist. They're psychopaths, allegedly. My opinion. Anyways, I delivered this speech. A flood of false allegations made their way to the front pages of many news outlets across the country. And I'm going to cry about it because my name is Timmy. And that is my grandpa. Just kidding. It will all come to light. I don't even care if that's his damn grandpa, you know? Still affiliated with him. Then you got this asshole right here. Then this one confuses me. You want to know why it confuses me? David Levitt is part of this alleged, what Goel calls Church of Satan, which is not the Church of Satan. So don't come at me, Church of Satan. We respect you. I'm just saying the Church of Satan of Latter-day Saints. I don't know how to say that. It's like the cult within the cult. It is this group of people who allegedly, according to the Hamblin daughters' victim statements that they filed so many times, and still they just, I mean, like, there's another hump in the road right now, another block in the road of getting this case prosecuted, getting David Hamblin prosecuted. He's admitted it. Okay. There are so many victims and there's so many people everywhere. And that seems to be the goal of these people, in my opinion, is to disassociate you. David Hamblin, he's a Mormon therapist. His dad was a sociologist, okay, who did like all these experiment type things. And he worked, don't hold me, don't quote me on all this, but he worked in like New York City, and the dad, Robert Hamblin, David Hamlin's dad, and he did this thing where he was paid by the government now. Okay. Just know that. Any 3-letter agencies come to mind? Okay. Hmm. Okay. Well, he was doing like these, not experiments, but I don't know what to call them, case studies. And it's basically like they would pull in these poor families, they would come from broken homes and things like that. And this is back in the day, like I say back in the day, like in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. And so what they did was they paid each family. And so, I mean, the family, they need the money, right? Okay. Because they're poor, which again, it goes right into that whole globalist thing. Yeah, it's so weird. I don't know what to make of it yet. Besides a power play, and just we're like guinea pigs or something in a way. Well, he was doing this kind of like what you see. It's exactly what you see in Jody Hildebrandt, in David Hamblin, and every other freaking Mormon therapist that you have read about in the past 2 years, for sure. I mean, I've only been around I'm just saying yeah, it's that. It's like, and so so what Robert Hamblin would do was basically like, okay, he would do like reward and, what do you call it? I don't want to misquote it because I'm gonna mess it up, and because I suck at quoting or verbatim. I cannot tell a story to save my life. He would do like there's a video of David Levitt, this guy right here. And he was the Utah County prosecutor, whatever. I don't know. He bought a freaking castle. A castle. His wife, Shalom, is a freaking therapist. Or she's into that and transhumanism. And she taught at BYU. And now they live in Scotland. Okay. Because that's what you do. But allegedly, they did an illegal adoption with a Native American baby girl. And that is human trafficking. And that's when David Levitt a while back had made a weird comment. He said, as part of an investigation now, according to Fox 13 News with Adam Herbitz, he is friends with Victor Yoshenko. Okay. He's like over there in the Ukraine. All right. That's when I'm just like, okay, these are global people. Like, the associations are wild. They're like Epsteinish, I'm just like, what the, and I don't even know much about that. It's just as weird and gross. Something I can't explain, I can just sit there and wonder and dive down that rabbit hole. But okay. So Victor Yoshenko, and so he makes this comment, and he's talking to a documentary camera, somebody doing a documentary on, on adopting kids, right? They all want to adopt freaking kids. That's another common denominator. Mark that down for all of them almost. And that's not the first one. This baby, this a Native American girl that was illegally obtained, we'll just say, in Montana. She's just the latest one. But anyways, so he makes this comment to this documentary film crew or whatever, and he's like, yeah, he was like, I was talking to, I don't know, I'm not good at retelling a story, obviously, but he's like, I wanted to know, I wanted to introduce buffalo. That's why I always say, like, the buffalo baby. That just stands out. That's one of them key trigger words. And I'm like, the buffalo baby. What the hell are you going to do? Oh my God. Are we human trafficking over there with the Native American girls? Okay. We got a little deal with, I don't even want to talk like that on here. Shadow ban probably right now. So it just is, you start, and then you look at Tim Ballard with his associations and Sean Reyes' associations with and Paul Harrison, or not Paul Harrison, Paul Hutchinson. They're best friends or whatever with the freaking president of Mexico, or he's running for president, the one who played Paul Hutchinson. I never can say his name. But anyways, you just start, there's no way. There's no way. Y'all want to see what I look like before Lori happened? Sorry for the boobs. But anyways, yeah, before Lori happened. Yep. I was just, anyways, I was younger. Let's just say I was younger. Anywho. Okay, I'm looking for, this is another thing I need to show y'all. This is, do y'all notice some, okay, this is Stacy Lynn Cope. This is Lori's sister, Melanie Plowski's mom's headstone. Forever in our hearts. It's got a cross on it. I just noticed that. I didn't notice that before. That's different. Stacy Lynn Cope, June 17, 1966. She died on May 21st, 1998. I'm sorry, 1966 and 1998. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Separate is spelled wrong. Anyways, I noticed that and I was like, oh no, that sucks. Anyways, but God bless her, right? This is a picture that Alex took, or this came in the investigation. This is Mesa, what do they call it? Mesa Falls. Is that what it's called? Why am I blank today? I'm tired, that's why. You got Chad and Tammy around the time of their first anniversary. Oh, it's just weird. You know what? I did think about this yesterday, since John and Chad are pulling whatever they're pulling. I was like, well, who's going to give Chad a new ties? He's been wearing the same damn blue one and the same damn, red looking one every time. Right? Oh my gosh. There you go. Coon. Mm-hmm. This is where Alex lay dead. Well, he's not dead in this one, so. Master bath. This is the Limas. This is, how Vinny Politan, I mean, God bless him for saying this. He's like, Alex Cox died on the toilet. He never passes that opportunity to say that Alex Cox died on the toilet. Anyways, it says master bathroom with double sinks and garden tub where Alex Cox, says paid dying, but I'm sure it's where he laid dying. Right here. Anyway, so there's a little bit of that. Oh, and also, y'all want to hear? Okay. Oh my God, I just want to show y'all so many different freaking things. Hold on. Remind me. Okay, let me know. Well, here's this. Do you want to go and, I can pull up the video for the guy who talked to Chad Daybell about that movie that Chad wanted to do about, his book. He was talking to this dude. and they were going to make a movie. And so movies is another freaking common thing on here with these people. What's up with these movies? I mean, his books are stupid. Nobody wants to see a freaking movie for sure on Chad's books, about Chad's book. Nobody. So what is that about, really? And why is there a Jesus film? The church paid millions and millions of dollars to Gordon Bowen. And the movie, Lynn Packer reports on it, and he's like, the Jesus movie never went up, it just disappeared, right? And then here you have Tim Ballard working on Operation Toussaint, and then here comes Sound of Freedom, and then there's just, what's up with the movies? What's up with that, and what's up with the church paying pedophiles and freaking alleged Church of Satan punishers, okay? Where they have freaking dead skin, dead human skin bodies and shit. It's weird. It ain't my weird though. Okay, I can't imagine what any of these victims that these people have made their victims. The Tylee and JJ's, the Hamblin daughters, all the R and the E Frankies. It's gross, and there's so many more. That Paul Ridding, y'all know that girl that I don't really know her story that well. The one that came had that AP News story on, and she was on Mormon Stories podcast. Well, hold on, let me do this. Let me just shut up so I can type and get something done. It's time to do something. It's called G&G podcast, not GG, but G&G. Let's see. Let me go to videos. I know I left you on that screen. Y'all not here. Y'all can look right here too. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. All right, next. I don't know. I had it on. That's what I'm saying. I keep finding stuff, and then I'm like, oh my god, and then I put it on. I'm like, oh yeah, I'll talk about that, and then I put something else on, and then I'm like, oh my god. Okay, the director almost made a movie with Murder Chad.
So I just started just watching some videos on YouTube, and about killers and stalkers and whatever, and I came upon this documentary about this one stalker guy who actually stalked this woman for 4 years.
Trillions. Almost trillions.
And he ended up shooting, I think he killed like 7 people and like injured 11.
Oh, geez.
Good Lord, do research.
It's a true story. And I thought, how crazy would that be to like stalk someone that long and like, to even kill for it?
In 5, 4.
Let me stop moving papers around.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the G&G podcast.
Okay, let me speed this up.
And I am Gato.
Today we have a special guest for you today. He's a well-known director of 3 feature films, currently working on a 4th one, has won numerous awards, including the Utah Festival.
Oh my god, we have to speed that up to 1.5.
So let's welcome Devin K. Hansen.
Devin K. Hansen.
Scott, how's it going? Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad you can make it.
Let me see when this
We've
was.
been planning this for about weeks now, so we're finally glad that we can have you on the show.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
December 22nd,
I'm really excited for this.
2021.
I'm so bummed that we couldn't do it last week. But glad to have you. Thank you for being able to join us today.
Yeah, take the time.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. So Devin, let's start off with we have some history. I'll say that as a disclaimer to our
We
viewers.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
we
come
do.
on with
We
it.
worked on
Got a
the
lot of
film.
history.
Yeah, we worked on the film, numerous films actually. Bigfoot, Milk
Started
Creek.
with Bigfoot and Milk Creek.
Yeah, starting with that one.
Which went viral.
It did.
And it went viral.
How many views did that
I
get,
guess
by the way?
this is film. There's no audio.
I think we're at about 500,000 views.
500,000.
Wow, serious?
500,000 views, and it's all over the web too. Like if you Google Bigfoot at Milk Creek, you can find it anywhere.
It's amazing.
It's on
Wait.
Fan Footage Critic. It's everywhere. It's insane how far it went.
Did you expect it to be
And
that
there's
big?
this, I did not.
Dang
I
it, they
expected
talk
just
slow
to
and then they talk
get a couple
fucking fast.
of views.
Sorry.
Let's start off with we have some history. I'll just say it as a disclaimer to our
We
viewers.
do. Yeah, we do.
We worked
We
on
have
the
a lot
film.
of history.
Yeah, we
right, let me
worked
get
on
the
the
link.
film numerous films actually. Bigfoot, Milk Creek.
Started with Bigfoot and Milk Creek.
Yeah, starting with that one.
Which went
Bigfoot and Milk Creek?
viral.
It did.
And it went viral.
How many views did that get, by the way?
Okay, I put it in chat.
I think we're at about 500,000 views.
500,000.
Wow. Serious?
Yeah.
500,000 views, and it's all over the web too. Like if you Google Bigfoot at Milk Creek, you can find it anywhere. It's on Found Footage Critic. It's everywhere. It's insane how far it went.
Did you expect it to be that?
It was just,
Let me go look at the transcript so I can
know,
get on
I
with it.
expected just to get a couple of views and and just to make something fun with some friends and.
Okay.
But,
Now
I had no idea that it would blow up
search.
really huge and go
Chad.
crazy all over the internet, and it's been great. So then that was kind of a
okay.
kind of an answer to me.
All right. Thank God. 12 minutes
I
later.
was looking forward to doing and this is where I met Chad Daybell. It was in 2019. It was literally that year, that same year that we did soccer.
Yeah.
Or that we had
2019
soccer, and I thought that was really cool. Obviously, Chad Daybell went up the deep end.
Obviously.
And it was really interesting how I myself got involved with him personally.
Oh, look how he's pointing.
Just met him through a friend of mine who's a model actress here in Utah, and just to tell everything in a nutshell really quickly, she saw her photo, stock photo, whatever, on the cover of this book called Chasing Paradise, and I made a comment on her Facebook page, and hey, that's super cool. Your face is gonna be in there forever, And so she hit me up, and so she knew that I did.
I accidentally hit that. I'm sorry.
Did film.
I suck at this today.
Filmmaker here, and I just kind of had the idea to make a film. I'm like, well, it'd be really cool to do a feature film on this book, but we would have to get rights and permission and go through all this crazy work and stuff. And she's like, no, let's do it. So I'm like, all right. So I hit up Chad Daybell, and met with them in May and sat down with them.
In May of 2019. Just think about that for a second.
I believe it was like a brunch with them. But we talked for about an hour or so, and about plans and production, and so after that, he even signed like our books for us and everything, and got a picture with them.
Yeah, I saw that one.
So
picture was.
Yeah. So after that,
Man, how does that
That's
feel?
so
I remember watching.
for him.
Yeah, you were on Dateline, by the way.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy crap, you're there. You're a known person now. Which has to feel
it's
how does it feel to know that because you were on TV, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I was on
We're
local
on
news,
TV
and
right
I was
now.
on.
It's not that big a deal.
And then we did the interview on Dateline.
I don't remember that. Is that the one they
By the
pulled?
way.
But
Because I think it's really interesting that Dateline pulled one of the, video, one of the whatever episodes they did on the kids missing. They did quite a few on the family, and then you have that guy I showed you just now. I never told you what his name was, but I don't understand how David Levitt, somebody like David Levitt, okay, who's implicated in the documents, in the victim statements from the Hamblin daughters. Him and his wife were implicated and named in those documents. But yet he's a freaking prosecutor who they kind of they position people, according to Goel, they position people in these different ranks, and that way they can make things go away or just not get prosecuted, have these people not be held accountable. And that is freaking scary if it is happening. And it just makes you wonder. That's all I'm saying. And it just goes without saying. Anyways, and then you have this guy that I showed y'all with the mask on. I mean, I think the what are those guys who do the body language? I don't know. I forgot the name of the channel, but they actually did Arthur Knight AKA, he has like 16 freaking names. Okay. This guy I showed you with the air mask on, he finally got extradited. He fought it though. He was over in, I don't know if it was Scotland or if it was England. I don't know which, Glasgow, wherever that is. And he got COVID. Okay. He's been on the run. He's wanted for R wording and SA and just all kinds of things. But yet he was also a victim. So if you got to put that, just put a pin in that, you just kind of think about what is happening here, what's going on. You got David Hamblin's dad, Robert Hamblin, who's doing this. It's paid by the government, a big grant he got to basically guinea pig on poor families and do a reward system. If you do this, kind of like a mouse, like scientists and mice, and they test, anyways. And then there's this clip of David Levitt. Okay. And he's saying something like, how do you, he talks about the Hamblin case. He names himself. And I mean, he implicates himself. He's like, I know David Hamblin, or he didn't say David Hamblin, but he was like, I know him. He was my quorum, whatever president's brother. I don't know what he said. But he's like, I testified at his divorce proceedings and yada, yada, yada. Well, but here's the headline though. The headline was like, okay, a sexual, how do they say that? A ritual abuse, sex abuse case with cannibalism. And I'm like, what? And murder. And I'm just like, oh my God, this cannot be, here's Operation Underground Railroad. Lori and Chad happened and still, we're still going through that. This is 2020. Okay. There was a whole lot of things that happened in my life for sure. And I mean, for a lot of us, because coronavirus, but I'm just saying all these things were happening at one time. And then I see Operation Underground Railroad fly up on my radar. And I'm like, what the hell? That's connected. I don't know how. I can't, at that time for sure, I could not get you there. I couldn't get there. But I've been side-eyeing this whole movement, and just kind of watching it all over. Nancy and Mike James, like all of them. Okay. And then you have that came out in the headlines about Operation Underground Railroad. And I was like, oh no, that's not right. Something's not right there. Anyways. So I followed that. And then comes, the headline about the ritual child sex abuse, with cannibalism. And, he uses peyote. David Hamblin uses peyote in these healing circles. He was a Mormon. He's hanging around with James Mooney. Okay. And they're making these sweat lodges and okay. And he gave his daughters peyote, and that makes it harder to prosecute because of the daughters or whatever also went to a Dr. Allred or whatever, and he used hypnosis. And so that it just discredits a lot of those cases. It's already shrouded, the victim gets blamed. It's hard to come out and face it, because I mean, by the time those memories come back, come to the surface, you're like, oh my God, you got to go work through all that crap. And then while you're working through that crap, you got to, be brave and just sink or swim. Basically, we're here. So you've taken this away from me. So here you go. You really can't kill my spirit, well, David Hamblin's all about this parts theory. That's what he calls it, quote unquote, parts theory. And it's to disassociate through sexual abuse, okay, and trauma. And I think that's what's going on. That's the common denominator here. You've got R and E, Frankie, who were being tortured, abused, starved, thrown into cactuses, worked, just all those things. And so in this Church of Satan that's within the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, I mean, all the way back to the Glenn Pace memo. The whole satanic panic that never. I mean, I can't help but it gives credibility to it in my mind from my research. It to me is so shrouded in cover up that anything that just sounds so outside of our comfort zones, we automatically are like, oh hell no. That is crazy shit, But then you kind of think about things like zombies and how these children are turning dark. Melanie Pulowski's kids, 2 of her children were dark, and she was trying her little ass off, trying with her murdering ass Uncle Alex Cox in the damn vehicle, waiting while she's trying to, she's trying to get into her almost ex-in-law's house, Brandon Boudreaux's parents' house to get her kids. And then she's, there's video of her on body cam fighting with the cops, basically just wanting a damn victim's advocate. Because why? Because they're like persecution complex, because they do not feel empathy, because it's like a generational abuse. Okay. And so it's reoccurring. And it's like the motive here, the end game is to just, okay, if I'm looking at it a spiritual angle, then it is Satan. It's master. He's a master deceiver, and he can't be like God. He cannot. I don't speak Bible. I don't speak God. I just talk. Okay. I don't know scripture. I'm not a expert on anything. I'm just telling you what I know and what I think. And, because Satan cannot be God, he wants to be God. That's where this is. It's all about pride and ego and just wanting to be the one. That's that whole core horror thing that Melanie and Lori Vallow were just like, you calling me a core horror? That's the only time I've ever seen Lori get beside herself in this whole thing, was when Melanie effing Gibb called her a freaking core horror. And she was like, oh no, I gotta have answers about this. What? But you're like, oh, well, where's your son and your daughter? There's, you know what I mean? She's fine with that. But don't you dare call her ass a core whore. Okay. Cause then they will Mormon scripture battle right there. To right now, it's odd and it's weird and it's ingrained, indoctrinated. Well, anyway, so you have all these personalities and all this kind of conditioning, and in my opinion, and then I don't know where I was going with that, but oh yeah, the devil, Satan and being the master deceiver. And so you just take truths, right? And you just kind of plant a little doubt, and you twist the scriptures, you twist the truth, you bend it just a little bit and a little bit more every time, until it's just a big snowball. And then it's like so big and so you're like, oh hell, why do we have so many psychopaths and narcissistic people and people dissociating and all these anxiety disorders and all these mental health mental illnesses? And why is this plaguing our society, our world today? And then you add technology on top of that, and so everything's super fast and super now, and it's impulsive. And then like in the church, I've seen so many times where they talk about to their youth, not to have sex outside of marriage, and they liken you to a piece of chewed up gum or just something undesirable. It's a purity culture or whatever. I don't know all the words. You know what I mean? But you just factor all these things in and the big grand totality of it, the big grand scope of it all. And you're just like, what is going on and what's the end game. And so why are people falling out of the church when you think that's, and I say the church, I mean all churches, all of them, every freaking church. What, what do you do? I'm trying, okay. What's going on? And where does it stop? And who's calling the shots? Who requires sacrificing children because they were sacrificed. I mean, it is what it is. It's in the indictments. They were charged, well, Lori, she was convicted. And the other one will happen too. And there should be more, but there's not. But that's, we just got to keep, that gives us, I guess, job security. And they will be held accountable for their knowledge and for their deeds and misdeeds and what they're doing. Yeah. Anyways, so you just have all this disassociation, all this trauma, all these Mormon therapists you have, and then the church is like using it's they're shaming you, they're like with the purity culture or whatever and all that, and then it's all guilt, shame, and it's manipulation is what it is. So you got people falling away from the church because they're like, why are they're acting like a damn corporation? And it's because they are a corporation first. They dabble in Jesus, and they dabble in Jesus just enough to exploit you. I mean, like, you literally, if you are a tithing member in any church, any congregation, but especially the Mormon church, you are paying them to abuse the shit out of you and exploit you in every facet of your life. And I mean, all the, Mormons that I've come across, I love them. I love my fellow human. I just do, we're humanity. We're nothing else. We're not black, white. We're not Native American. We are not Chinese and Hispanic. We are, yes. I mean, but we are humans. Oh shit. What the hell just fell behind me? Oh my God. It scared the hell out of me. Oh my God. Okay. We're humans and that's it, Anyways, all the labels seem to be really to divide. Not to really identify, but to divide. Adam and Eve, you think about all these things. Anyways, and so we're just here we make things so complicated. We really do. Humans make things complicated. The world's not complicated. God's not complicated. The world is complicated. We make it complicated. Okay. It could be so easy, but we're so extra. But anyways, it's just, I don't know. I don't know. This is just kind of how I see things. And I mean, it's so hard to talk about these things because I don't really have the right words. I don't have the right labels, so to speak. I'm learning. I'm still trying to figure this thing out too as I go and identify these things. I need to start sharing them and not feel so self-conscious about it because I'm like, oh my God, they're going to be like, I mean, yeah, I see it. I mean, I don't get as many views, I'm not like, here, your true crime go to. I don't have all the answers. I never will. But I'm here in the community, and I'm all about teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And we need each other. And that's point blank. I'm not here to be, exalt or self-righteous. It's not self-serving. It's just it's a team. It's a team effort. Again, we're not getting out of here alive. But and it's to, make good on my promise that I made to them, that their deaths would not be in vain. And anyways, I don't know where I was, but just think about all these things, and it blows my mind. It really does. All right, let me shut up so we can go.
I've always wondered.
It was legit. It was sweet.
Like, was the
they had
was
like
the interview like a long? I always wonder because interviews look like they're like 10 seconds long, or they use a
Yeah.
soundbite. How long was the interview
Yeah.
itself?
so like when we talked to Fox 13, it was about it wasn't long. It's probably like we're probably there for about 40, probably there for like half hour or
okay.
so tops for Fox.
Yeah, I'll go grab it.
Because it was still the case was still going on at that time, and he had just fled Idaho to Hawaii.
I wonder if he knows Brandon.
With his new wife, whatever. Which was weird because we didn't recognize we didn't know who the woman was.
Yeah.
And so then so basically he had asked me to write the screenplay and the script, and it was my first time
Wait, he said right here. Hold on.
Tops for Fox. Yeah,
Which
because because it was still the case was still going on at that time, and
he said Brandon.
and he had just fled Idaho to Hawaii to with his new wife, whatever. Which was weird because we didn't recognize we didn't know who the woman was.
Yeah.
Lower horror.
And so then so basically he had asked me to write the screenplay and the script, and it was my first time trying to adapt a book into an actual screenplay, and so I would communicate with him on a weekly basis. I would call him, text and email him and stuff, and about changes and ideas, and and who he wanted to have in the cast and everything, and just went silent in September, and I found out in September that like the kids went missing, and then sad, really sad because one phone call, his first wife Tammy picked up the phone and we chatted for a minute. She was really excited.
Did you feel like he was a killer?
Wow.
No, like he just.
Man, that's so.
No, seriously, like he can't.
That's
like
so crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's crazy. No, but he seemed normal. He seemed really relaxed, and
have a hard time.
We were sharing experiences from our earliest missions, and
Dang.
it just seemed like a normal guy, and yeah, this shared stories about how he was that inspired to write.
Was he inspired to kill as well?
There were no murders in this
case. Well, because that was back in May.
Yeah.
And and he could have been planning to kill his kids. Like the kids could have already been dead by then.
No, Uncle Charles was still alive.
So once that ship sailed, but Dayline's setup was pretty sweet. It's real legit, dude. They had like three humongous big cameras on us and like monitors, and they had us connect to Keith Morrison.
Did you get nervous?
I was nervous. But it was really exciting for me, and crazy as well. But at that time though, I was like, I just tried to relax myself as best I could, and it was awesome to hear him, speak, because he speaks really, really slowly, very, with.
He's got a
word,
remedy,
not emotion, just like
remedy.
Very
melody. I'm sorry.
Yeah, soothing, kind of comforting a little bit.
What's that guy's name again?
So,
the host guy,
Keith Morrison.
Oh yeah, Keith Morrison. Yeah.
Oh,
he looks like a guy
Morrison.
that might talk very.
He put you in
very smoothly, very relaxing.
And he was a super nice guy. He was a really cool guy. And they were really glad to to have our story shared with them, and
I don't remember him.
But he had a very calming way of relaxing me. It was I think he could tell that I was nervous, and said, to say like, just pretend there's no cameras, pretend there's no lights, just
pretend that there's not three cameras pointing, giant cameras pointing at you.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, exactly. And he's like, just pretend,
I'm looking.
Just pretend that you're over at my house, we're sitting on the couch, sitting down, next to a fireplace. Like he got me like in the mood, totally, and I was able to relax.
I'm gonna skip forward.
Hey, you're the guy on Dateline.
I don't know.
Or like, hey, you took that photo with that killer guy.
I mean, because this is something Chad and Lori were going
Yeah,
to
we're doing
do.
that Bigfoot movie.
Oh,
We
yeah,
have to
we're
be
doing-
prepared about this.
You were the stalker. Oh man.
Yeah, right. So yeah, it's been kind of exciting and crazy. So
I'm guessing that movie is permanently delayed production.
Well, it probably made it for you. Here's your whole movie.
yes, yeah. Once we found out that he had fled and he was running from law enforcement, I'm like, nah, I don't want to get involved anymore with this guy. So
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
like,
Good call.
let's not do
Have
it.
you thought about
I-
making a documentary based on this
Um,
happening?
If you do,
That would be a good idea.
I want to
I
make one.
have.
I think this would be a
I
good
have,
idea to get the people involved, or that we're going to be involved in this project, and just kind of go over how it all started up until that point. I think that would be
That
a
would be
really
Or
interesting video or
You
movie.
his
make a
experience of
movie
it.
reenactment,
Oh God,
and
I
then
got chills in
have
my
like
face.
the guy from Walking Dead play you.
The guy from Walking Dead.
Stephen Yeun?
Yeah, Stephen Yeun,
Stephen
there you
Yeun.
go.
There you go. He looks nothing like me. He
Okay,
looks nothing like
okay,
me. But
here,
he
let
is
me-
Korean though, so that's good.
I don't know if I want me to skip or not.
Man, that's I remember because I remember reading that and I saw the picture on Facebook and I was like, oh, cool, new movie coming out. And then it's all this thing.
Yep.
His name was plastered everywhere. I was like, wait a second, I remember you taking a picture with that guy. Like, shoot,
Yeah, I
that's
did.
the whole thing blew up. But anyway,
Arrogance, man,
Yeah.
of
so there was
Chad.
that movie.
Lori.
Well, I guess not actually
There's that
movie,
movie.
but well, tell us about the recent movie you just did.
Yeah, you did just release a movie not
Yeah,
that long
so-
ago.
I did, yeah. So that was kind of based off my
Ah.
own experience with Chad Daybell.
What was the name of
you
it?
know, it got me thinking about, like a
was
lot
the
of
name of it?
kidnappings and, like Elizabeth Smart and
Yeah.
Lisa McVeigh, countless others. And,
Oh yeah, Timothy McVeigh.
and I remember seeing on TV, when those kids were found in his own backyard, like that was like the biggest like shock for me,
Wow.
the fact that he would do something like that. And I wanted to kind of, I don't know, like it was a lot for me to take in. So, and I knew I had to write something to get it out. So, and that's kind of where Never Seen Again kind of came into play.
Never
Although
seen again. Oh my
it's
God, I
where
really
the
Googled it.
girls do come home, but you take like JJ and Tylee, who never came home.
Aw.
That
Never
were
Seen
found,
Again.
it was too late, when they found him.
His
So
name-
that was kind of my inspiration for that film. But yeah, we're looking for distribution for that one too, and it was a lot of fun. It took us about 8 months instead of 6 months.
and his name
that's a long
is.
production.
I gotta find
Was
his
that
name.
also like
Devin
like a
K.
weekly thing?
Hansen.
because I think
Oh,
I remember when
no.
we filmed Stalker,
Kind
it
of.
was like it wasn't like
Yeah,
6 months straight. It was like once a week for 6 months.
Yeah, it's late. Yeah. So we've kind of spaced it out, just because of everyone's
Right.
schedules and the holidays and stuff, and weddings and birthdays.
Comparing this
Yeah.
this last movie, Never Seen Again, versus Stalker versus Bigfoot, how can you compare your story writing? Like how long did it take you to come up with the story, to create a script for it, and what were like some things that were easier as you created more films
Okay, we
versus
might
like
move
your
on.
first
Hold on.
time?
Just looking. Oh.
Yeah. So when we did, so here's the interesting thing too. So when we did Bigfoot and Mill Creek, we didn't really have a script.
No, yeah, I remember.
We just
Just
kind
kind of went with it, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
kind of just went with the flow a little bit. Yeah, because then the reason why I wanted to do that in the first place was that that everything so that it would feel
Mm-hmm.
more natural.
Oh, marriage. Hold on.
Instead of trying to remember lines or something like that, just figure if we can just focus on those main
hold on.
points. If this happens, and this happens, then I think it flowed a lot more easier.
Yeah, it was a little more
Okay.
natural.
And
I think
then,
we'll move on.
Yeah,
Alright.
it felt more natural.
All right, so I put that link in the chat, so y'all go check it out, and I'm gonna look up Never Seen Again, because he said it was based off of his experience with Chad Daybell. Oh my God, right? That's cuckoo. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I don't remember that. Or I probably wrote it down and then forgot about it. Okay, so now let me show you this real quick. But it's basically the infamous Reddit email. Okay, here it is. Okay. All right. So let me hide that. Well, let me see. Yeah, let me take it off of that real quick because it has some email addresses on there. Okay, good. I didn't have it on there anyway. All right. Okay. So it's to my mom. Email to my mom, and it's from Nate Eden. Okay. East Idaho News. And it says they met technically September 23rd, and it says 2018. And this is like basically Nate Eaton's guideline to interview Melanie Gibb. In, was it April or May 2000? The first interview we were like, oh my God, we met Melanie Gibb on TV, watching that interview with Nate Eden. So they met technically, this is the weird part, technically, what does that even mean? They met technically September 23rd, 2018, which is 2019. No, it was 28. Hold on. It was 2018. But they met October 26, 2018, physically. So they met technically September 23rd, 2018 through Jason Mao at Temple. Chad was told around that time by one of the three Nephites. My hunch, my well-researched guess, the three Nephites would be the three top dudes of the Mormon church. The prophet, and then the two Oaks and Eyring. And then M. Russell Ballard was the president of the quorum of the 12 apostles. There's 12 apostles under those top three dudes, and so there's 15 prophets, seers, and revelators. They don't just make, it's not just one dude allegedly calling the shots. It's 15 dudes making decisions and receiving revelation allegedly. All right. It says, so I think it's those three, the three Nephites to me are Peter, James, and John. They're referred to in this context. Okay. Not legit Bible stuff. I'm just saying, like, in this context. Okay. So it says Chad was told around that time by one of the three Nephites, Mathoni, Mathoni, not Moroni, freaking Thoni. So one of the three Nephites named Mathoni, that a special woman would come into his life. So was it a voice, or was it one of somebody in higher places? Okay, November 2018. Together at this point at the Mesa Preparing a People event time. Okay, Audrey was there. All these people were there. Chad and Lori are sealed to each other in an Arizona temple where their spirits traveled to another upper room. All the things I've read, that's where the second anointings take place. It is another upper room. Okay, where, let's see. Oh, okay, together at this point, okay. Chad and Lori are sealed to each other in the Arizona temple where their spirits traveled to another upper room, and Moroni gave Lori to Chad. The Savior was there. Moroni and Chad, sorry, I zoomed it. Moroni and Chad have both been married to Lori in many other probations. Really does think, it reminds me of Tim Ballard being sealed to, he used the same line that everybody, pinned on Chad. I'm not going to pin anything that's just not theirs. He's not that original. He's not. Just not. No. It goes higher. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Moroni and Chad have both been married. So, I mean, that happened with Tom Harrison, Tim Ballard, Ken Krogh, Sherston Stockwell talks about it in the lawsuits. Go read it. It's interesting. That happened to the Celeste Boris, okay? The one that came out again. You know, she was part of the oh my God, the lawsuits against Tim Ballard initially, but then now here's the criminal filings, okay? Yeah. Anyways, and he had told her that before. Or no, it was the blonde. Anyways, it was one of them. Or maybe all of them. I don't know. You just don't say that, though. It's weird. All right. I just need to read it and not break in. Marona and Chad have both been married to Lori and many other probations. Lori is their favorite spouse. Moroni gives up his ceiling and gives it to Chad. That was not in that other document. Moroni gives up his ceiling and gives it to Chad. Lori has been on 21 planets and Chad 31. Once he was a Holy Ghost. Chad has 5 times on this earth and Lori has been 4. I'm trying to do it to where I can share my screen. Chad has been okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Lori's been on 21 planets and Chad 31. Once he was a Holy Ghost. These are code names. Chad has 5 times on this earth and Lori has been 4. It would be nice to see Zalima's freaking journal, right? Chad makes a portal in Lori's closet so she can visit him. Anyways, all right. Then at a separate time in the temple, a separate time, and Chad writes about this. This is his James and Elena story. Okay. Then at a separate time in the temple, while in celestial room, Lori puts her hands on Melanie's head and ordains her to be part of the 144,000. Melanie's head begins to radiate heat. Others actually can feel that heat. And in parentheses, it says, other people have their eye color begin to change. All right, let me try. They're out of order, so good luck, huh? Let me see if this is it. Okay, nope. Okay, hold on. Nope, not that one. There's 5 pages, so I'm on number 3. No, that would be okay. I'm just trying to put them in order in my head too. It's got to be this one. Come on. It don't make sense. Hold on. Here's the first one. Okay. Chad and Lori were trying to get Melanie to marry Alex. Yeah. That. Okay, let me share my screen for real. Oh, okay. It's been like that. Okay. Didn't have the right aspect on. Ooh. Chad and Lori were trying to get Melanie to marry Alex. Lori had a brass instrument that had a spindle-type compass in it, with questions. It would start moving and give answers. At this time, Chad told Melanie he has no relationship nor interest in Julie Rowe. He had also previously said that he didn't want anything to do with Suzanne Freeman. Chad and Julie had done energy work using a pendulum and seer stone on people. They had spent much time together. Allegedly, they spent time with Tom Harrison, learning how to portal. Whatever that means. Anyways, Lori and Chad believe they are in charge of gathering the couples for the 144,000. They make charts of who the people are and who is sealed to who and how many probations they've had and who they have been in past lives. This chart was on Chad's computer and in his email, so it is now public property. That's just so they could publish this letter, this email, or this information, in my opinion. Okay. Because I believe it goes higher than Chad. I need to, I don't know. Okay. Because this is just in a temporary little window. Okay. They make charts of who okay, I don't want to say that run-on sentence again. Okay, and who they have been in past lives. This chart was on Chad's computer and in his email, so now it is public property. The 12 apostles are on this list. Tammy is on this list and was put down as being married to John the Beloved, who is also Enoch. Anyways, Chad calls Lori and tells her that Charles is now Ned Snyder. It's not Nick Snyder on this. I never even thought about that. Lori tells Charles he has become a zombie. His spirit has been hijacked by an evil spirit, bitch. I'm just kidding. And his spirit is in limbo. He was hijacked again and became Garrett. And then he became Eblos, Eblose, 10 to 20,000 zombies. When a zombie dies, its body can be reunited with its real spirit. During this time, Lori is completely open to Charles about who she thinks she is. When she met Chad, she had already been translated in her mind. Okay, let me just keep going. And had stopped wearing garments because they are meant to be a protection and she no longer needed it. Charles files for divorce and does business trips to Texas. Lori received a revelation that Charles will die in an accident on his way back home from Texas. He doesn't die, and Lori is frustrated, and the night before Charles died, Lori tells Melanie she better leave her house. She calls and has Alex come stay with her. Next morning, Charles is killed. All right, let me try and find page 3. Chad had told Alex that he was the angel that had come and stopped Laman and Lemuel from hurting Nephi, and that he is now Lori's. Oh, shit. Okay. And Jesus. Okay. Chad had told Alex that he was the angel that had came and stopped Laman and Lemuel from hurting Nephi, and that he is now Lori's protector. Alex believed all of this, and Melanie believes Alex was her hitman. Okay, Alex believes all this, and Melanie believes Alex was her hitman and did all the killings. Oh my God. Charles had Lori committed to mental facility, and they tested her, and she told them who she was. Translated, part of the 144,000, they let her go. July 11, 2019, Charles is killed. September 2019, Lori moves with kids to Rexburg. Melanie is aware that Chad and Lori have taken trips together while both of them are still married to their spouses. I'm glad I brought this in here. This is one of the books that I think y'all can't see me, can you? Thank God, because I look like a woolly man just now. This is one of the books that came from Uncle Charles's things when they were visiting Chad and Lori were visiting temples. That's where translation takes place, whatever the F that means. So this is a book about temples. Standing in holy places, right? That's not the name of this book, but that is the name of one of Chad's books. Standing in holy places. Standing in holy places. This is a holy place book. The temples are holy places. They were visiting temples. This is a book about temples. This is Lori's book that I believe her and Chad bought while they were hoeing around in temples, translating and shit, for whatever that's worth. There's the barcode. I don't know. It came from Desert Book. Anyways. Okay. So, hold on. I'll get back over there. Okay. Okay. So, they took a trip. Okay. Whoa. Let's start here. Melanie is aware that Chad and Lori have taken trips together while both of them are still married to their spouses. They took a trip to visit multiple temples and receive revelation on who is part of the 144,000. Well, that's interesting. So they're receiving it, but it's not from anybody dead. Okay. In Rexburg, they took a trip to, okay, I already said that. All right. In Rexburg, Chad and Lori get up early to meet up mornings to walk around the BYUI track together, holding hands and kissing. End of September, Tammy becomes suspicious. Chad tells Lori that Tammy and their children have now become zombies. Lori, meanwhile, is telling Melanie that she can't wait to have sex with Chad and how it's such an important part of who you are, and everyone should be having it at least once a day. And once she is with Chad, they would be having it 3 times a day. That was short-lived. Chad and Lori told Melanie that Alex, Kay, and Tylee have now become zombies. Chad and Lori told Melanie that Alex, that's a suspicious one right there. We already know Mom was turning into Rhonda. Alex was gone, Tylee was gone. Anyways, have now become zombies. Melanie talks to Lori all the time after Lori, oh really? Because she was like, no, we kind of just, once she moved to Rexburg, but then she goes up there. Anyways, Melanie talks to Lori all the time after Lori moves to Rexburg. In September, Melanie and Lori were on the phone. Tylee and Alex were in the background. Tylee was yelling at her mother to get off the phone, right? Tylee was always yelling at her mother about how she was always on the phone. Lori said that Tylee had turned zombie. Melanie went to visit Lori. Tylee was not there. Melanie asked about her and Lori, said that Tylee had moved on. Whew, this is hard. Tylee's things were not in the house anywhere. Okay, so Melanie Plowski didn't see that, but her Jeep's there, but she's off with her friends. But whatever. Anyways, and then this Melanie and David, they are some assholes. Let me tell you. They're some pieces of shit. Let's see. Let me see if it's this one. Page 4. Nope, that's the one I was just on. That's the last page right there. That's the back page. Maybe that's it. Let's see. Oh no. Okay, hold on. Just bear with me. No. This is hard to see in the little bitty baby window. You know what? I'm trying to open another window. It's not working. Let me see what this is. Oh my God. Okay, let me just start from the top and then work my way down. We already saw that one. Okay, and that's page in order. This is 2. Okay, JJ was there and he was angry and really acting out. Let me scooch in. Lori said that JJ was possessed. I don't remember hearing none of this shit. Lori wanted to give JJ back to Kay, but couldn't just return him. Lori needed to be free to complete her mission with the $144,000. Melanie thought of a plan, breast cancer, and Lori liked it. Lori was going to call Kay and tell her that her health had taken a turn and she couldn't care for JJ. As Melanie left for Arizona, Lori was going to call Kay. A few days later, Melanie asked Lori how that call went with Kay. Lori told her that she had changed her mind and sent JJ somewhere else, that he was really happy there and doing really well. Lori withdrew JJ from school, and this was the last anyone saw of him. Lori calls Melanie end of September. She totally, I mean, she just briefed right over her ass, huh? September 19, you know. Anyways, a few days later, Melanie asked how that call went with Kay. Lori told her, okay, I already read that. I'm sorry. Lori withdrew JJ from school, and this was the last anyone saw of him. Where the hell is her freaking alibi? Melanie, freaking liar. Lori calls Melanie end of September and said that Tammy was on to them. October 19, 2019, Tammy dies. November 2019, Chad calls Melanie and tells her not to answer the phone because the police would be calling her because he told them that the kids were with her the kids. Melanie asked where the kids are, and he said they were with Kay. Later, police came to her house, and she told them what she knew. This is Melanie Gibbs saying this. Melanie called Chad and Lori and was very upset with them for saying she had JJ. When Melanie asked where the kids were, since Kay was asking for a welfare check, Chad said, quote, where no one will ever find them, unquote. Oh my God. That's what fucking Audrey Baratero said. Oh my God. Well, you suck, Chad, because they were found. Anyways, Melanie felt her salvation had been ruined. That she would never have Heavenly Father's love again. She knew beyond any doubt. Oh my God. She knew beyond any doubt she had been deceived. Oh, I remember when Melanie was like, I told Lori, you know how they project and deflect, right? Never any accountability. They don't do anything wrong because they're just so goody two shoes. They're exalted. And they, okay. And so she told Lori that she had been deceived. And you know how she wrote that whole letter to Aval, Christopher Parrott, and all that shit. Oh my God. I'm sorry, y'all. I should have looked at this a long time ago again and revisited it because, oh my God. It's not the one I read from when I read the infamous Reddit email. I've read the one that was on Reddit. Okay. Okay. That she would never have heavenly. Okay. She knew beyond any doubt she had been deceived. Then it reminds me of Audrey Baratero on the stand. And she was like, well, it wasn't Jesus, you know, you, whatever your mind wants to make of that. I know her mind is made up. Anyways. Okay. She knew beyond any doubt she had been deceived. That her passion for wanting more knowledge, okay, this is further light knowledge straight up, had taken her way beyond the mark. She started fearing for her life. You know why? Because she's guilty. She left her kids with her recently divorced husband and kids' father and went and stayed with her, with David W. Warwick in Utah. Melanie's former husband and kids went into hiding for Christmas. That would be Brandon. Melanie, former husband and kids went into hiding for Christmas. Maybe, unless it's Melanie Gibbs' freaking husband. Anyways, Melanie said other people were also going into hiding. Why? That's that thing I'm talking about. Melanie and David have been dating and are on Chad and Lori's chart. End of October, David becomes skeptical and wants out of it. Sets Melanie. Here we go again. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, that's the front page. It's got emails on it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Try this one. Good night, Jamie. All right. Nope. Okay. It's just one more page. It'll be the last page. Okay, so David sets Melanie straight and has her give full report to police. She also records a conversation of January over phone with Chad and Lori, where she confronts them about their false beliefs and cheating on their spouses. Lori blows her off and quotes scriptures of why Melanie is wrong. Wait, let me read that again. I set her straight and give full report. Okay, she also records a conversation 1st of January. 1st of January? It's December is when she recorded it. Anyways, over the phone with Chad and Lori, where she confronts them about their false beliefs and cheating on their spouses. But her and David were doing the same damn thing. David wasn't divorced all the way from Jackie. Lori blows her off and quotes scriptures of why Melanie is wrong. In this 20-minute phone call, they yelled back and forth at each other. Melanie calls them Cora whores. This was early January. I thought it was December, so I want to know. November 2019, Chad and Lori married November 5th, day after Thanksgiving. Melanie receives email from Lori full of beautiful pictures of their wedding on the beach. She didn't even know they got married at this point. December 2019, Alex dies, possible blood clot in the lung. Melanie says kids are most likely dead. All were probably killed by Alex. Melanie remembers that Lori and Chad were frustrated why Tammy had not died yet. Whew. Chad told Lori it's not that easy to get someone's spirit out of their body. Okay. At any time, Lori and Chad could tell the number of zombies. Okay. Don't read right. At any time, Lori and Chad could tell the number of zombies there were in any given state. Usually around 20,000 zombies nationally, right? Okay, so all right. They also said 2 of the apostles are zombies. Ballard, M. Russell Ballard, and Renland. That's Dale Renland. He's in cahoots there with Timmy Boy too. Went to Haiti. They also believe that the SHTF, which is shit hit the fan, is this year. Okay, this is that whole earthquakes and stuff are going to happen, and we just wouldn't even notice anybody, the kids missing. Okay. All right. This year, and they could just wait this out in Hawaii and then just come back, and that's just it. Whoa, hello. So that was an email sent to my mom by this asshole. Sorry, it's just, I want to know when this was taken. It just makes me feel, because there's a few pictures of Chad and Tammy in this same spot. There's a picture of Chad's parents in this spot. It's like a lookout point, and it's right there by Chad's house, by Bear World, by probably, I want to know where that property is. I need to get a hold of Lauren and see if we can put our heads together and do I'm dying. I want to know. And I cannot wrap my head around it. I don't have the brain capacity. Okay. I can't do it by myself. But just to go through she had done a couple videos whenever she went to Lori's sentencing in July of 2023. Okay. She was in Rexburg. She brought us via, her camera phone or whatever, a YouTube video, 2 of them. And she showed us the property where Alex's phone pinged. It was a field. Lauren walks through it and she's just like, what? I want to get a grasp of that, because there's so much secrecy and just no answers around the kids' deaths, right? I mean, it gets real sketchy. Nobody is just affirmative, and we don't even know what day they died on. It's just out of these 2 days for JJ. It's out of these 2 days for Tylee. We can just assume. When JJ's ashes came, they actually had the wrong week on them, and so it was like I was like, oh, a whole week we gotta grieve now. I mean, it really messes with your head. It was on the box that he came in, his little ashes, right? And anyways, it had the wrong date, so they had to, they have to fix that. But JJ's in here too. For anybody who hasn't seen, my mom gave me that, and it's got his ashes in there, some of them. And I don't know about Tylee. I don't know how that's going to work. Yeah, I've shared how I feel, and I believe those kids need to be together. And we interred Uncle Charles's ashes. It would just, I don't know. I don't want to get into all the family politics and all that. I just feel like and I mean, I'm not saying that they won't be. I have no idea. Don't know. Haven't talked to anybody about anything. Yeah. Oh, I forget your relation. I couldn't. Okay. I am Kay Woodcock's daughter. My brother, Todd, is JJ's biological father. I know. Gets a little confusing. Lori and my our Uncle Charles, JJ's great uncle. So me and my brother, that's our, okay, my God, you got me confused. Relation. Charles was my uncle. That's my mom's brother. And then him and Lori adopted my only biological nephew. My brother has no more children. JJ. And then Tylee was my step cousin, technically, via Charles and Lori marrying each other. So Kay and Larry are my parents. There you go. Yeah. So I know it gets confusing, but it's really not. It's just kind of hard to picture with all the people the moving parts, right? So, okay, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna read that infamous. It's not infamous. It freaking ain't no Reddit email either. It was my mom's email from Nate Eaton, and it came from Melanie Gibb. So that's the author of it. There you go. So that's in Melanie's words. Melanie just kind of skipped out on her own little part there, didn't she? And so when you go and watch that interview of Melanie Gibb with Nate Eaton, and and we just are all like, what the hell? I never did let it, when she said that they weren't on this planet anymore, I did not hear that. It didn't register. It's something about when it's gotta be this. I'm just assuming this is what happens when you're in trauma. You just kind of, your brain maybe protects you in that sense because it knows you can't handle it. And so you just kind of don't hear things. You don't see some things. It's weird. It's interesting. Yeah, it would be. Oh my God, I would love to. I want to go with some damn metal detectors. Just saying. Yeah, Kay is my mom. Lisa. My mom is Kay. And so Charles is my uncle. That's my mom's brother. But then my uncle adopted my brother's baby. And that's JJ. And then Tylee is the same age as my daughter. She's actually oh my God, I don't know how to frame that. I hate that. She was between the ages of my son's 24. So he was like kind of, younger than Colby. I don't really remember, but Tylee was 3 when I met her. Ashlyn, my little girl, I have 2 kids. I have Zach and I have Ashlyn. None of the Zachs that are in this case, though. Y'all don't know my Zach. But anyways, my son is 24 and my daughter just turned 18, December 23rd. And she was 5 months old whenever we met Tylee. Tylee was just 3 years old. And Colby was around the same age as my son, as was Cole, my Uncle Charles's oldest son, my cousin. Thank you. Appreciate it. He is. I know. Well, I'm like Larry, Larry, he's just so easy to just, he's my stepdad, but I don't even like saying that because you couldn't tell, he doesn't treat me or my brother. We just, I don't know. I just don't even think about that. I just have been blessed the past 24 years with Larry in all our lives, and I mean, he's a good man and he's good to my mom and he's good to me and my brother and all our kids, and he's just a good guy. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, right. So I think this is where I'm going to go with this. I want to learn about what I've experienced. Even again, I've had traumatic things already before any of this happened. So it's complex and it can cause all kinds of things. So, and I mean, trust me, I feel it. I've always been an anxious person. 15 years old, I had my first panic attack and I was like, oh my God. And I still have them to this day, every now and then. I know what it is. I'm like, okay, you're just having a panic attack. You just get through it, girl. Just get through it. It's, you're not going to die. But then you're like, well, how do you know what the difference between this and a stroke is or a heart attack or whatever? So it's scary. I still have them. And it's like having your first one, your first panic attack, I hate being anxious. It sucks. Well, thank you, Lisa. You're welcome here anytime. I have beautiful babies, right? And JJ was, they're, only cousin by blood, so to speak. I have step nephews, step nieces. I don't sit there and say step, but I'm just not. I don't know. You just always. I was 8 years old when my brother Todd was born, and he was just like, it's like God sent me a playmate. Like here you go, girl. And I was 8, so I mean, I was like, I was a live baby doll, and I mean, I was just like, oh my God, I'm gonna love him and pet him, and I dressed him up in bonnets and tutus, and I entertained him. He entertained me, and a lot like how Tylee and JJ, how they clung on to each other. Me and Todd did the same thing. I still do. And he lost his son, JJ, twice. And again, you make bad choices. You do. And whenever my mom read her victim impact statement to Lori at her allocution, her sentencing, there's the part where, my brother is the drug addict, right? He's the drug. JJ was born addicted to drugs. And I don't agree with it. I'm just saying this says a lot to me, because you have the religious zealot who was accused and then convicted for murdering all these people, her babies too, of all people, her babies. One she adopted, one she birthed herself. That's her own eyes, her own flesh, her own, anyways. And well, in my mom's victim impact statement that she read to the court and to Lori, she said, Lori, Todd forgives you. And I mean, I was just like, oh my God. It says a lot to me, because he's the drug addict. This is a drug addict baby, that's a drug addict's baby. They're zombies, dehumanized, distance, sever ties, cleaner break, right? And so it just is, I find it very interesting how you've got the dopehead who provided your son that you adopted and then murdered him, and he forgives you. And JJ's real mom, Mandy, Todd's girlfriend, she died June of 2022. And she forgave them before she died. Good people, just toxic for one another, usually people who are addicted to drugs or have the addictive personality or whatever, you know what I mean? You kind of tend to kick your own ass. You don't need anybody else to do it for you, okay? And I can't imagine. I really can't. This is part of why I do what I do and search as deep as I search and for as long as I do. It just drives me. I don't know. That's my baby brother. My brother doesn't have any other children. And I was there when JJ was born. I was at the hospital, and all my life, I was just like, ever since Todd came along, I was like, and I realized what being an aunt would be like, you just always assume like, oh, I can't wait till I'm an aunt. But I didn't really get to play that part or that role because JJ was adopted by my Uncle Charles and his wife, Lori. And so they lived far away, and it just, you're like, well, I don't want to impose, but I didn't know where I fit, there just was no spot and I didn't know how to initiate the conversation. It's weird, I was upset with my mom actually when she told me that, that they were thinking about, having that Charles and Lori were going to adopt him. And I was just like, no, we can raise him, we'll all just pitch in. And I mean, I was mad. I was just like, oh, hell no. This is, but I also didn't think. I didn't think about like what it would be like for JJ, his life, what is best for him, minus all the bullshit. You don't foresee, you have no idea this train wreck is just, 6-7 years down the road. You have no idea. Never. But I mean, it's just tragic. It really is. So my brother lost his baby twice, and I can't even imagine. It breaks my heart, Anyways, it's just tough, and it's sad all the way around. Yeah. It's called, you have to be selfless. You don't think about yourself, right? That's being selfish. So you think about the best life for the child, the best opportunities, the best family structure, all the things, the love, the brothers and sisters, and that unit. My mom and Larry, they owned a company forever. Okay. I mean, I lost them to 2 cell phones and 2 vans 24 years ago, straight up. And they started a company, and they would transport offshore crewmen. We live on the Gulf Coast in Louisiana. So, they just started, and I mean, the oil business or whatever, it's 24/7, 365. It is never ending. I drove also, for their company, and I mean, it's nonstop all the time. Hurricane or disturbance is coming in. You got to go round all those people up, all those guys. And so they were busy all the time. I'm just like, hey, it was like their company was like having another sibling that was a really hogged hogged them, but also provided us, jobs and an opportunity to earn money and pay our bills and raise our families, right? Well, this kills me. I just thought about this. I remember this was before Uncle Charles was no, I don't remember. I really it's a blur, so I don't really know if it was before Uncle Charles was murdered or after. But I remember Mom was, in there. I call it the Hurricane House. There's a video with me and KJ and Mom and Ashlyn when KJ and Mr. Wayne came in from Tennessee to visit. That was so awesome. We went to the house where JJ, we also had 2 hurricanes in 2020. There's so many things that have happened. It's so hard to tell a story because it's so many things have happened to process and just try to explain why this was this and why, Well, there's a couple interviews and stuff with Mom and Larry at that, I call it the Hurricane House. That way I don't dox it or anything, but that's where JJ, would hang on the trees, and that's where Larry, he really remembers and recalls a lot. He like drives to that house to this day. It's being redone. Yeah, it's been out of service pretty much since Hurricane Laura wiped it out. But he'll drive over to the property, to the house or whatever, and he just goes because that's where he feels JJ. He feels connected to JJ there. JJ would ride a scooter and just wear his little shoes out, and I've got video of him, with Ashlyn, my daughter, and he's just skipping and just being cousins. I mean, it's cute, but it's bittersweet. I see myself in him, I really do. I really do. But anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. It's just a lot. I really forget where I was going with that. Yeah, whenever KJ and Mr. Wayne came, and I try not to impose on anybody. mom and them to feel obligated, you know. Or I don't want them to be like, hey, some strangers are coming into town. I watch your channel all the time, but you know what I mean? You just, hey, you don't know who anybody is. We're all just screen names. Well, I mean, y'all know my name, but you know, we don't know you from Adam, and same here. But I needed to talk to her in person, you know, just not over the internet, not not on a live stream, but just talk. And KJ took it, she took all of it in. I could see her wheels turning, you know, and she would just take it all in. And so we kind of just threw together this crawfish bowl, and it was fun and it was good. So through tragedy, right? It does suck that we have to meet that way, but it's kind of the things that also bring us together, you know? Yeah, it's a never ending business. You're busy all the time, all the time. So whenever Lori and Charles came in to adopt Jade, or, you know, to bring him home, I think they brought him home before the adoption, you know, was finalized or whatever. And I worked for 2 city judges in here in Lake Charles. And so they came by my work. It was February. And that's when I saw JJ. He was Canaan. Canaan was his name when he was born. So it was crazy. And a blur. It's so fast. And then you learn, you know, he's flourishing and he's doing good. And he would get baby massages. You know, they would they would have a baby masseuse come over and massage him just because he was born with drugs in his system. And then he was, you know, once he got into his toddler year or whatever, he was a toddler before he was diagnosed with ADHD and autism. And then that's when I found out he was diagnosed. I remember I was like, maybe that's what's wrong with me. And I really do. I took the test then a couple times, you know, and it's whenever I'm ready to find that out, you know. But it explained a lot. I was like, oh my God, I so see myself in him. That energy and just a little bossy, you know. It's just he would write notes all over like Mom and Larry, you know, right in the kitchen, and it would say, "This is my kitchen. Nobody come in here." And he would put the post-it on the wall. And so whenever we were evacuated for Hurricane Laura, we went in and we stopped by Mom and Larry's, that house or whatever, and they had some big fans in there going, but nobody was home. And I saw that little note just flapping, and I was like, oh my God, that's gonna fall off the wall. So I grabbed some tape and I taped that's JJ. I mean, he never came home, you know, he never came back. Anyways, and so where it said, "This is my kitchen." So I taped it really good to the wall. I didn't want that to be lost or whatever. Just kind of like his shark pajamas. You know, Mom and Larry buy all the kids pajamas for Christmas. It's just, I mean, they look like freaking Hugh Hefners and stuff. Gross. But anyways, I mean, just all have just the slipper, all to the nines, right? And anyway, she bought JJ some shark pajamas. And he was found in red pajamas. So it just is very that's going to be one of the names of the chapters of my book. The boy in the red pajamas, right? And that's also red symbolizes the second coming of Jesus Christ. And I remember telling Mom that in the court, you know, when they first went to see, when she got extradited, when she walked in all arrogant and shit, right? With her nose up in the air, her shoulders back. She was fine. And I told Mom, I was like, wear red. Wear red. It signifies the second coming of Jesus Christ. And she didn't. But anyways. Well, she kind of did, but not really. Anyways. This is just such a, just, I don't know. How did we get here? Right? How did we get here? But I don't know. We got here because two people fell in lust. And I believe they were hooked up by, I don't believe they found each other through Chad's stupid ass books. Nope. I believe it's something that their church does on the side. And anyways, so so Thursday morning, 10 o'clock a.m. We'll maybe come on a little earlier. 10 a.m. Mountain Time, right? It's them that brought the group together. We just here reaping up the benefits, right? Yep, it's grief. No straightforward way through it. Yeah, you can't go around it. You got to get through it to get to it. So I have this binder, and it's full of that Mark means, whenever there's the whole transcript of Rob Wood and Summer Shiflett. And then there's the whole, I have the timeline and everything, the real one. And then all the filings, whenever all that shit went down around when the indictments came down, Lori all of a sudden was deemed incompetent. Then she went away, and then Kurt McConkie stepped in. And I was like, oh, hell no. When I read it, I like physical copies of things, and it takes up a lot of room, but damn, it's just, like I have all the FOIA docs printed out. It's in a big ass binder. It's got Heather Daybell's letter to her stake president, Dawling, the one that excommunicated Chad publicly via court TV. It's a trend. And anyways, and so it's just interesting because I do believe that there's some shady shit going on there. So I got to show you, or I got to let y'all listen to one more thing, and we're going to leave on this. Okay. I hate when it tries to connect to my TV. All right. This one.
Tim Ballard against its own policies because it's afraid.
Okay, hold on. 56 minutes. I'm sure I could play it on there. I had screen recorded it, but hold on.
Battery 100%.
Come on. Okay, hold on. It's connecting to my. Oh crap! That's just that Tim Ballard. Hold on. I guess this is the right one. It's John
with Anna
Vallow.
and Tim. But what I wanted to focus on today is the statement by the church that was first reported in the Vice News article. And so I'm going to go ahead and just pull that up now, and I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to kind of dissect some parts of it that we think are really important. But from the Vice article, it reads, in response to a detailed request for comment on these matters, a spokesperson for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, this is an unnamed spokesperson at the time, sent a statement which reads in full, President Ballard and Tim Ballard, no relation, established a friendship a number of years ago. That friendship was built on a shared interest in looking after God's children wherever they are and without regard to their circumstance. However, that relationship is in the past. For many months, President Ballard has had no contact with the Underground Railroad. The nature of that relationship was always in support of vulnerable children being abused, trafficked, and otherwise neglected. Once it became clear Tim Ballard had betrayed their friendship through the unauthorized use of President Ballard's name for Tim Ballard's personal advantage and activity regarded as morally unacceptable, President Ballard withdrew his association.
Yeah, he did.
And again, this was only months ago. President Ballard never authorized President Ballard never authorized his own name or the name of the church to be used for Tim's personal or financial interests. In addition, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints never endorsed, supported, or represented OUR, Tim Ballard, or any projects associated with them. President Ballard loves children all over the world.
That's
freaky. It has
freaky.
been his mission and life's work to look after them, care for them, and point them to their Savior.
No, we're good.
So to summarize,
Okay, now hold on, because I just pulled this up, and so this is interesting, and it goes into what happened to Chad and his, and we'll leave. And if you know, mods, if y'all need to go, I got it, and I appreciate y'all for just hanging with me. I just let me switch. Let's see, where is John Delenn? When you have a bunch of red YouTube things open, you're like, which one is it? So remember that day I told you about Gordon, or I was reading that blog or whatever, the Substack from GoL. Okay, that's into the David Hamblin case, and that's that whole Gordon Bowen. I just uploaded that video where he connects Tom Harrison and Gordon Bowen with Tim Ballard, which is the Church of Satan. Okay, all right, or in the LDS Church. It's the Church of Satan within the LDS Church, not the trademark Church of Satan. All right, don't come at me. All right, so right here is where he brings up this blog, which I shared with you guys, Goel's, statement or whatever, right around the same time, September 30th. It was the day I shared it with you guys. So this was October 2nd, and I was like, oh my God, I read that same thing. So it was kind of validating for me to see that he read, something that I was in. It just connected in a way. I didn't realize how much it did. But anyways, all right, enough about that.
So there's this blog called Investigations and Ritual Abuse, and the title is Confirmed Tim Ballard Excommunicated. And I got in trouble on Reddit because I just shared this blog post, and it imported the title Confirmed Tim Ballard Excommunicated as the Reddit post. So everyone got mad at me thinking that I was claiming that some rando weird QAnon-like blog was proof that Tim Ballard was excommunicated. That wasn't my claim. That's just Reddit importing the title of this blog. But I did think that the information on this blog was worth sharing, because what was shared on this blog was the following. The blog wrote that excommunication has been confirmed by key sources due
that excommunication has been confirmed by key sources due to Tim Ballard's own discussions with others about his excommunication. Ready?
To Tim Ballard's own discussions with others about his communication. So again, he starts out by saying that this blogger has confirmed, independent of me, that Tim Ballard has spoken with others about his excommunication. He goes on to write, Tim Ballard claimed that he was excommunicated for going to strip clubs as part of OUR's operations. So already to his close circles, allegedly, and again, what I'm about to say is not only on this blog, but it's been independently reported to me by multiple sources, that what Tim Ballard is telling everyone is that he was excommunicated for going to strip clubs as a part of OUR's operations.
Not the truth, not the whole truth.
And then, so he's not claiming that it was for abusing women, for harassing women, for any of the allegations related to the women who have come up to make allegations.
He says that Joel is his supporter, but he's not a supporter of Tim Ballard. He's just telling without bias, I think. But anyway.
To write, Ballard further alleged that he had cleared such visits with his bishop in advance. If that was true, Ballard could have called that bishop to his council proceeding, but that proceeding was irregular at best, just like every other event in the chronology of Tim Ballard's fall. So this person is a supporter of Tim Ballard. He's angry that Tim Ballard was excommunicated. He is critical of the Mormon Church for the way that they handled it. And he goes on to write that he believes what I think Tim Ballard is also telling people, which is that all of this came down because Tim Ballard was rumored to be running for Mitt Romney's U.S. Senate seat, and the political powers in Utah, Mitt Romney and others, conspired to take Tim Ballard out before he could announce his candidacy for U.S. Senator from Utah. I will add that my original report from weeks ago that helped kick all this off, I think, along with Sean Reyes, Utah Attorney General, telling everyone that he was about to endorse Tim Ballard for Senate, even though he didn't name Tim Ballard. You could read that tweet that was attributed to Sean Reyes, where it was clear that Sean Reyes was set to endorse Tim Ballard for senator. It was revealed to me that Tim Ballard had been telling people that Jesus himself had appeared to Tim Ballard and told Tim Ballard to run for Senate, that Jesus was coming soon, and that Tim Ballard should announce his Senate candidacy, U.S. Senate candidacy on October 10th. So if that is true, and if Tim Ballard is going to obey Jesus, and if Jesus hasn't changed his mind, we should have Tim Ballard announcing his run for U.S. Senate in the next 8 days.
Okay, so just hold that thought for a second. And here's the other part of that same thread. And that's the one I uploaded yesterday. Oh, I just got to find it. Damn. I lose my place all the time. There it is. All right, here. All right, and I got it to the spot. Ready? You're going to find out that this dude right here is the one who wrote that and sent it to Vice News, because he was buds with Mitt Romney. He's buds with before the apostle died. This is his prodigal son. He's now, so there's some, I don't know why I didn't bleep out the damn cuss words, because I spent a lot of time doing that. I don't know why. But anyway, so there's some harsh words, trigger warning. But here's the part about that.
Were causing his homosexuality.
This is from Goel. I'm sorry. Investigations and Ritual Abuse.
He wrote of his sins being foreordained in his journal so that he could learn secret codes and combinations. All as part of a mission he felt he had to serve on the part of God within the church that had excommunicated him. Bowen was never rebaptized, yet the church retained his services on marketing matters and reportedly funded a movie production for $20 million, which was delegated to Bowen, even though he was an excommunicated and disgraced individual. When Tim Ballard was pilloried by Vice, sources indicated that Gordon Bowen wrote the press release the church's media officers sent to Vice condemning Ballard for his immoral activities in utilizing the name of M. Russell Ballard to fund.
Okay, you got that, right? Okay. It says, I mean, anyways, he's written it in a few articles. It's been confirmed. You know, he corroborates, I believe, with Lynn Packer, because process deduction. That's how you find out. But anyways, so if you watch Lynn Packer's report on SRA, satanic ritual abuse, it's weird, right? It's got Mitt Romney on it. It's got Elder Ballard, and then it has Gordon Bowen. And he talks about this Gordon Bowen, you know, about his divorce with his wife, Barbara Timothy. And this is the guy who is in the Hamblin Girls statements, who is, I mean, there's a dead man hanging from the damn ceiling. Okay. Skinned. Okay. And according to their victim reports, corroborating each other's. And he's the Punisher. He's the Church of Satan Punisher, but he's also gay. And just much like Jody Hildebrandt. Okay. I'm getting the same vibes here. And so anyways, Gordon Bowen worked all kinds of, anyways, go watch Lynn Packer's on that. And I'm working on getting these voiceovers done so I can get some of these that tie in with Tim Ballard, with Chad Daybell, with Lori. They're going to come smacking into us one day. I'm telling you, because Tom Harrison's right here. Hold on.
For $20 million, which was delegated to Bowen, even though he was an excommunicated and disgraced individual. When Tim Ballard was pilloried by Vice, sources indicated that Gordon Bowen wrote the press release the church's media officers sent to Vice condemning Ballard for his immoral activities in utilizing the name of M. Russell Ballard to fundraise. The reality that Gordon Bowen had traded on M. Russell Ballard's name for years, and the reputation of the church was apparently irrelevant to those within the church who sought to do damage control where Tim Ballard was concerned. A plausible explanation for Bowen's contradictions was proffered by Tom Harrison during his divorce.
There it is.
Tom Harrison had provided therapy to Bowen and his estranged wife Barbara Timothy, and the affidavits and testimonials he offered posited that Bowen had a dissociative disorder. Tom Harrison was the subject of the book Visions of Glory, detailing his near-death experiences and his allegedly miraculous visitation from Jesus Christ.
Oh, Jesus.
The book was a sensation within the latter-day Saint universe.
Visions of
And
Glory.
those who extolled it, such as Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow, and Jody Hildebrandt, would go on to infamy, resulting in a savage takedown of Harrison by Mormon stories that drove him into seclusion. Before he retreated into seclusion, Harrison reportedly spoke to another individual about
Lynn
Gordon
Packer.
Bowen. He allegedly condemned Bowen as a pedophile and Satanist, and claimed that he had told church officials about Bowen's proclivities. Harrison also alleged that Bowen had threatened him during Bowen's divorce proceedings. According to those who know him, Harrison is described as an extremely sensitive individual with a soft demeanor, one who had a profound set of experiences that compelled him to dictate his visions into book form. He would not be the only individual in his immediate circle drawing spiritual insight and inspiration from deeply traumatic experiences.
David Hamblin.
Harrison had been one of the church's original point men on the topic of ritual abuse during the
You hear
some
that,
50
right?
years.
Okay, so Tom Harrison who is a Mormon therapist, not anymore, not licensed anymore. He was the point man for the church during the Satanic Panic. Okay?
And those who extolled it, such as Chad Daybell, Lori
Oh.
Vallow, and Jody Hildebrandt, would go on to infamy,
I won't
resulting
it.
in a savage takedown of Harrison by Mormon stories that drove him into seclusion.
Mormon stories.
Before he retreated into seclusion, Harrison reportedly spoke to another individual about Gordon Bowen. He allegedly condemned Bowen as a pedophile and Satanist, and claimed that he had told church officials about Bowen's proclivities.
So that's Tom Harrison.
Harrison also alleged that Bowen had threatened him during Bowen's divorce proceedings.
Tom Harrison testified at him and his wife, who he married after her husband suddenly passed away. He was a veterinarian. Anyways, sus. Okay. Tom Harrison testified in their divorce. And so Gordon threatened Tom.
According to those who know him, Harrison is described as an extremely sensitive individual with a soft demeanor, one who had a profound set of experiences that compelled him to dictate his visions into book form. He would not be the only individual in his immediate circle drawing spiritual insight and inspiration from deeply traumatic experiences. Harrison had been one of the church's original point men on the topic of ritual abuse during the so-called Satanic Panic. He had advised high-level LDS officials in their response, and reported his dismay at their unwillingness to accept his recommendations to confront ritual abuse as a valid phenomenon. Some 50 years into his career, Harrison would feel that his reputation and life's work were in ruins, even as his old nemesis Gordon Bowen retained his position as the church's point man in the public takedown of Tim Ballard. This was despite Bowen's status as an excommunicated and former member, and 40 years after Tom Harrison and others had reportedly advised the church to confront ritual abuse as a real and valid phenomenon. Ritual abuse would burst back into the headlines with the David Lee Hamblin case. An issue that could, and arguably should, have been quashed decades prior was now in full public view again. Ritual abuse was not going away. The Hamblin case implicated dozens of individuals, many holding high-level callings within the
High-level callings within the church. And prominent positions.
church. Worse still, a reported 175 victims and counting came forward in the Utah County Sheriff's investigation into David Lee Hamblin and his accomplices. The dividends of the church's failure to confront ritual abuse and to confront the seedy subcultures of private revelation among Latter-day Saints burst into view in other ways as well, with the story of Mormon preppers and apocalyptic survivalists such as Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. These were individuals who were ready to hasten the apocalypse by whatever means necessary, unhinged in their belief that they had received profound private revelations that supplanted and even replaced all earlier revelations. The fruits of their revelation were horrifying: murdered children and family members. Time and time again, the failure of individuals in high-level callings to address and stamp out heresy within the church had yielded devastating consequences. The church's reputation was dented, but more importantly, the faith of the plain and simple individuals who had trusted the church was in tatters. Victims saw the church as more concerned with its own image than with rooting out the satanic influence of men like Gordon Bowen and David Lee Hamblin. At its core, the story of ritual abuse groups is an old and recurring tale. Joseph Smith found it necessary to make it clear to his followers that he alone was the problem.
Anyways, I just think it's so like, oh my God. So it's just, it blows my mind because Gordon Bowen, who was excommunicated, anyways, he's the one that, let's say, wrote the statement, sent it to Vice. The church backed it. But now the church has a new media person. Okay? It's just flippin' interesting and disturbing on so many levels. Okay? And he was also, Gordon Bowen was buds with Boyd K. Packer, which was Lynn Packer's uncle. Okay? It's so, I'm just like, oh my God, I want to know more. I can't wait for him to write new stories. So, and when he does, I want to share them with y'all, but I suck at, retelling them. So I'm going to upload the next one with the updates about Gordon Bowen and, all that. And we're going to piece this thing together. There's no I in team, and teamwork makes the dream work, right? So I know we've been on here forever, and y'all are some good sports. And thank you, moderators. Thank you, Donna. Thank you, Detective's daughter. And I know Beach Bum left. And Trace on the case. You guys rock. You guys rock. But anyways, justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, and Joe. Love always wins. You guys are proof of this. We'll see you what's Thursday? I'm sorry, Thursday. We'll see you Thursday, the 18th, 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. I'm sorry, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern, and then whatever it is for Pacific. All right. Anyways, I'll see you guys then. Oh, bye. Oh, we're gonna play bingo too. Bye.